Introducing Pubcoin. Pubcoin is the rewards program for pub sports contributors. Regular chat contributors share their play of the day, POD, in the YouTube chat, including the phrase POD in their message. At the end of the week, the amount of units earned are converted into Pubcoins. Pubcoin can be used as reward points for prizes, shop discounts, and contests.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Mills here, Pub Sports Radio. Do you guys want to challenge the personalities here at Pub Sports Radio? Do you guys think you're better than them at entering in your MMA predictions and picks? Would you want to get paid for it? $100? Here's how you do it, man. You sign up right here at the link below. It's just this easy. PubSportsRadio.com. Enter your email. Pick your weekly picks. That's it. Oh, and you get bonus points if you can predict how they're going to win in what round. Every single week, a new winner's getting crowned. So every Saturday on Pub Sports Radio. So come on and check us out. You can win $100 just for signing up. Only thing you need to do is see if you can beat us here at Pub Sports Radio by entering your UFC predictions and picks weekly. Do it. I dare you. See you guys soon.
Trade your membership to Gold, you will be automatically entered in every horse race, every Wednesday and Friday. It is time to race horses. We are racing camels today.
Shout out to the Gold members. We're racing in San Antonio immediately here. And we're off. 2 minutes, 74 canals on this racetrack. It's wide. We're racing in San Antonio.
Pat Wally moving forwardly. Jeff Slaughter in the mix as well. And as is Randall Sheffield, who's put that beautiful nose out front.
But it's actually real grass here, Jimmy. Maybe Kentucky bluegrass. Oldie, no! There he goes. Oldie in the lead now. K. Wolf falls back. The horses love it. Sometimes they stop and eat it on the way to the finish line. That's why your horses start so far in the back. Oh, look at Nussflush Allen bursting out here. J-Dub in the mix. Rude Boy up here as well. Jimmy, take it away.
There's Oldie. Oldie is moving to the front. We are past the halfway mark in our 2 mile. And there's Ricky Levy.
Oh my goodness, he's in the mix here. Jimmy, take it home. This is our first dog race ever.
19 seconds left in the horse race here. It's Fernando Mendoza trying to find the wire. 14 seconds left. Can Fernando Mendoza take this home? Here comes Kenny Can. Kenny Can wants a piece of the pie. Put his schnoz up front. Ricky Bobby, 9 seconds left. Can Donut Silks make a run? Can Res Mall make a run to be $50?
You son of a bitch!
Here comes Tori Coker. Kenny Can Smoke and Mirrors. Director 97 home. That is a way. Here comes Jason Meyer, the Eldorado custodian. Billy Friedrich. Jones all coming down the advantage.
Coin! Nowhere!
Oh no! Fanatical Jim!
From the call of Peter Loshak, legendary sports handicapper, more dapper than a dawn. Father young phenom, known as Jimmy, who declared one day that the bag was here to stay. Information like a PSA, we all PSR, Pub Sports Radio, bizarre. Is a man named Slaughter and he flipped the script. No competition in this they quit the trip. But we say we be pubbing, better with the bag and you love it. You want it top 10, we above it. Let's check.
Yo, what's going on? Hey, everyone. Give me the bag. My name is Peter Loshak. Today is Tuesday, June 24th. We do this every Tuesday. It's hot as shit. I changed my locale, Jimmy the bag. I don't know if the air conditioning is like gutting in audio-wise. Is it?
No.
Oh, okay. Great. Yeah. So it's hot as fuck. And I finally admit, okay, global warming is real. Yes, I admit it. Okay. It's not a fucking feminazi libtard scam. It's real. It's real. It was definitely real in Costa Rica, but now I admit that it's real in New York as well. I'm doing okay in baseball overall in this show. I know I am down, but there's some interesting stuff on the card today, including Charlie Morton, probably the most interesting pitcher in baseball of the past 5 years or so. We'll talk about that. It'll be a nice little show, Jim. What's going on, baby?
Not too much, man. Not too much. Happy to be here. Start another week here on Pub Sports Radio. We have a huge week. I have a big week here. We got our show today, Betting with the Bag, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then we're back hammering horses on Saturday here, and we got some phenomenal races. Torpedo Anna racing. We have Sierra Leone coming back. Huge monster races on the Saturday card, and we'll be rocking all day and all night here on Pub. I can't wait. So that's I'm pretty excited about the week ahead. I had a very strong Friday, and then kind of shut down with baseball. But I should have gone 7-0. I should have gone 7-0, but it was 6-1 with a push, and felt like I was ready for one of those great days. And so that was very helpful. I was kind of moving in the wrong direction. So I shout out to all the cappers rocking with us. Mr. McKelvey in the house. Tax play today, number 1, Seattle, Minnesota, over 8.5. Brewers team total over 4.5. We got Mally Mal, JM play today. The alt over 163.5 in the dream game, and Brewers team total over 2.5. That's a 2-leg parlay -1. 10. We got AM Billy Friedrich as well, ready to get to work. Texas, Baltimore under 9.5. I want to back Morton, honestly, but
hey, Jim, can I ask one quick question? Is my because you're cutting in and out for me? Is my thing freezing? Because I think the heat might be affecting the internet here because it was cutting in and out for me this morning, so that might happen today.
You sound good so far.
Oh,
you sound good.
Frozen now.
Let me know if it affects in a negative way. We want to do something to fix that.
Motherfucker.
But yeah, we hear you.
What the fuck?
We hear you. You look great.
Sucker.
You look great.
Jesus Christ.
Razor sharp picks in the house. We got Big Daddy Boom, Cubbies money line 2 units, and Mets plus 130 for 2 units. Team parlay Yankees money line, Cubs money line, Mets money line. Going after it today is Mr. Big Daddy Boom. We got Matty Ice, Cheshire Cat, Old E, Morgan Spooner, Astros money line -138. Great line he got on that. That's the only bet I have made. I'm on the Astros double result at plus 160. I've started. If I want a first 5 and a full game, I've started using the double result for big scores. It's been working. I may still add a Astros -1 to that, but I have moved. That's the only bet I have moved on. Great to see all of you guys. JM ready to get to work. Troy Torrance says loves today's card. Ronnie Lofton ready to go. We got AM, Bo Jackson, Christopher Carter. Great to see all of you guys. Christopher Carter in the house. Gorky ready to get to work. A truth teller just hit Raducanu and Swiatek as part of a 3-legger, as part of my 3-legger with the Tigers. I love it. Kong's Clips in the house. Kristen Hess ready to get to work. Robert Cherry says 103 degrees outside in Jersey. Too hot for this shit. Let's cash today, fellas. And Big Zoe ready to get to work. King Ooh in the house says, y'all Shaq and Kobe this shit. Don't ever break up. This dynamic duo from Costa Rica. Been rocking with y'all since 2017. We're very lucky that we got cappers like King Ooh rocking with us. Great to see all of you guys. Kristen Hess says, new member here for it. It's a good vibe. It's a good vibe here in the chat. Mike Wilkerson ready to go. Billy Friedrich, thank you guys so much for joining us, Pete. And I am ready. And there's Walla Dose. I'm ready to attack this card, my friend. How is everything going your way through the internet?
I don't know. I was asking you if my internet is okay, and I think my internet cut out while I was asking you that. But I mean, I'm plugged in. I turned it off before, and I was having this problem this morning. So this might be happening. I don't know. All show, but we'll see.
We will see. You sound fine. So let's just begin to attack the card here. Thank you guys for joining us. We have 15 games in Major League Baseball. Then we have the WNBA. AM says White Sox money line looking live. We've seen some major market moves already today, and that one of those major monstrous moves was towards the Chicago White Sox. There's Big Zo ready to go. And Cheshire ready to go. So let's get to work. We start at 6:35 p.m. Eastern. You already set this game up a little bit, Loshak, with Charlie Morton, who's looked quite good over his last couple appearances. Rangers, Orioles, Camden Yards in Baltimore, Maryland. Let's start with the weather here to get started in Charm City. 102 feels like 105. 5.4 miles per hour in, dies down at 2.7 miles per hour. This is given Oriole Park, I call Camden, or plus 7% overall, plus 2% homers, plus 7% doubles and triples, and plus 6% singles. So Justin McKelvey, Rangers, plus 112 in his pocket. We have Jacob Latz. So this will be his first start. His last appearance, he had an opener. Still went 5 2/3 3. It's 1 earned run, it was a solo shot. Didn't strike a batter out and allowed 1 walk. 4-1 home loss to the Royals. On the road, he's thrown 17 innings, 11 different games or appearances, and he's struggled. 16 earned runs, 21 Ks, opponents hitting 262 against him. He's been very good at home, but he struggled in a short sample size on the road. Righties hit him very hard, 286, 818 OPS. He's shutting down all lefties, and this Orioles lineup opens with 3 of 4 lefties. They have 5 lefties in the lineup in a switch with Carlson, so might be a good lineup for Jacob Latz, the lefty. Rangers versus righties, 236, 81, and Orioles versus lefties, 256, 689. Both teams not delivering much power of late. Rangers bullpen, 2.50 ERA, 1.09 whip last 30 days. Orioles bullpen has gone from worst to first, or almost first. Been pitching very well. Last 30 days, 2.47 ERA, 1.07 whip. Let's take a look at the line history and the cash flow and then hand it over to Mr. Loshak. First game of 15 here on the card. We have these Baltimore Orioles at minus 133. They opened up at minus 124. We've had a 9-cent move towards the Baltimore Orioles, and I'm interested. And I would like to get involved. From a total standpoint, we have a 9.5. 9.5. This opened up at 10 and dropped to 9.5. Honestly, I have some interest in the first 3 under as well. We get to the table here for cash flow information. We have 55% of the tickets and 66% of the cash on the Baltimore Orioles. 94% of the tickets, 95% of the cash on the under. An enormous amount of money on the under. Mr. Loshak, Von Polo, looking at the Orioles here. What's your plan of attack?
Well, I definitely wait, you said that Latz righties hit Latz well, right?
Yes.
So far. Right. I didn't understand the Latz strikeout prop. I think it's not a good spot for him. So I did take it, and I definitely took Laureano, 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Don't like the spot necessarily for Latz. And as far as Morton is concerned, you tell me, Jimmy the Bag, because I joke around a lot and say I don't know what's going on. And, that's usually when I'm thinking about things, but I have some sense of what's going on. I have no clue what's going on with Morton. And again, the whole Trenbolone thing, that was just a joke, but it's more and more and more less of a joke. He's on this is substance-based, his good starts and his bad starts, right? I mean, his good series of starts and his bad series of starts, right? He's on something, right?
We'll have to wait for the autobiography, unfortunately, Peter, but it certainly feels that way.
Of course. So I'm not sure I guess we would expect Morton to have another quality start here. I mean, the Heat, you would think would throw a monkey wrench into most starting pitchers' expected results. But if you're mega dosing Trenbolone, maybe even Heat doesn't matter. So I don't know what to think about Morton. The line seems suspicious. You said the money came in on Baltimore so far?
55% of the ticket, 63% of the cash. So yes, not an enormous amount, but enough.
All right. Well, I'll make. I like the Laureano prop better, but I'll make both of them official. Laureano, 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Very low line there. And Latz under 4.5 strikeouts at plus money. I got that one. And I would be leaning Latz earned runs over 2.5 as well. He's a fly ball guy. It's just not a good situation for him. And Morton, I mean, it's incredible. He's not just having great starts. He's getting tons of strikeouts, no walks. It's unreal.
What did you get Laureano at?
I got it. It's like minus 120 or so. I'm going to shop around, of course.
And what was the second spot that you were adding?
Well, Lat's under 4.5 strikeouts at plus money, and I will shop around to see what the best lines are now. But I'm definitely going to take those two, and not going to try to predict. Although free play, yeah, I'd say another 5-inning, 10 strikeout, 1 walk start from 41-year-old Charlie Morton. That's what free play. That's what I would predict.
Yeah, I'm interested in backing the Orioles here. Interested. I also have some interest in the first 3 under 3. Probably not enough, but I do have enough to back Morton. I think I do have enough to back Morton here. So that I guess will be the plan for me. Then the question is, what's the best way of betting it? Do we trust what we've seen from this Orioles bullpen? Because the Rangers bullpen's been good all year long. Do we trust what we've seen from this Orioles bullpen right now? Or would you prefer focusing on the perceived advantage, at least of late, of Morton over Latz?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely take that I would prefer that for sure. No question about it.
And the first 5 cost for the Orioles is the exact same as the full game. So there's no difference there. It's pretty expensive. Would have to be probably a minus a half, which is something I prefer not to do. Maybe it's not that expensive. What is it over offshore? I could get minus 135, but I would like to have it under that in the first half. Look, let's see what it would be. And it's some spots you can, but that's basically the going rate, minus 135 here. All right, I'm interested. I'm interested in the Orioles early. Orioles early here. So that would be a first 3, I would guess. First 5 would cost a little less. So I will make a decision. Nasty Nate in the house. And that is our first game. So we're going to wait a little bit for Pete to give us some line shopping here with Loriano over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs, and Lat's under 4.5 Ks. And Troy Torrance says Rangers on the road with totals over 9 is a dead nut over. And Markel Dabby Cab also in the house. So that is game 1 here. So I'm going to decide between first 3 or first 5, and I don't really want to double up on the spot. We also hear, Peter, as we move into game 2, we have our guy Vaughn Polo in the house. And Vaughn Polo is getting a show on Pub Culture TV. Our very own Vaughn Polo getting a show that we will be announcing this week, and we're very excited about. VP Smell Good, man. It's a fragrance show, Pete.
Really?
Yeah, man. So shout out to our guy Vaughn Polo in the house. And there is, oh wow, Ricky Living, our guy Ricky checking in from Boise, helping his sister had her knee replaced. That's very solid of you, Ricky. As always, you're such a great family guy. Respect looking after your sister. We have Josh Smith over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs, and over 1.5 total bases. Split the bet here for Dabby Cab. Let's move on to game 2 here on the board here, watching this total climb. We got Sharpie in the house as well. Philly Houston, first 7 under 5.5. First 7 under 5.5 at minus 120 for.
I will say though, Sharpie, the strikeout props were a little bit lower than I would have guessed, and the hits props a little bit higher than I would have guessed. Just calling it out there.
It's an interesting spot. He's focused, but he's again focusing on the first 7 and not a strikeout prop on this one. So I think he's all over the situation. But let's roll on to Athletics Tigers here. Athletics Tigers. We have Jose on double duty right now, so I will handle the graphics. Here we go. Athletics 32-48, 17-21 on the road at Detroit Tigers, 49-30, 26-12 at home at Comerica Park in Detroit, Michigan. Luis Severino versus Tariq Skubal. Take a look at the weather in Detroit. It is hot, not as hot, and possible rain to cool things down. 91 Fahrenheit, feels like 95 8.9 miles per hour right to left, very slightly out. Then it becomes out. Slightly out at first pitch, but after an hour, it's out to left field. It does die down, but it is out. Let's take a look at what Ballpark Pal's estimation of the park here in Detroit, and it's 0%, Pete. It's minus 5% homers, minus 3% doubles and triples, and plus 8% singles. TJ took the A's plus 2 at minus 111. And I wanted to be involved with Luis Severino. I took a very long look at that first 3 plus a half at my minus 110 at 365. I took a long look and sat with it for a while, but didn't pull the trigger. Severino has been lights out on the road. He has struggled at home. Let's go over that line history here, Pete. We have the Detroit Tigers at minus. Oh, sorry. Wow, this line just keeps moving towards them. It just keeps going. And now it's the first 5 that's moving further than anything else. It's minus 300 now. Opened up at minus 273. So 27 cents of movement towards the Detroit Tigers. A full game. Big move on them first 5 as well. On the total, a bigger move even. On the total, was a juiced 7 to the over. Or you could have a juiced under 7.5. Whatever you would prefer. Both are widely available. We get to the cash flow here. For this one, we have the 77% of tickets, 76% cash on the Tigers, 54% of tickets on the over, and 83% of cash. 83% of cash. Again, this total opened up as a legit 7. It was just minus 109 to the over. So there's been a constant move toward this over, despite more money on the under at this spot. Swiggy says parlay spot Tigers and Lynx. Again, with that Lynx spot, Swiggy, Nafisa Collier, don't know if she's going to play. If she doesn't, missing another game, it does change things a little bit. But maybe you know that she's in or looking forward to hear break that one down as well. By the way, Sharpie on that spot says, yes, Suarez K's are down in the games. He doesn't have 5. He shoves nothing more than 2 earned runs. This is a guy who shows up when you got a guy like Valdez on the other side.
Yeah.
AM says if I see some books juiced some 7.5 to minus 110 or minus 115, he'll be on the over, but nothing until then. T-Moss, Brewers money line, Diamondbacks money line, and he's got a Suarez prop as well. And we got a Kong Smash play of the day, or play of the week. Topuria KO rounds 1, 2, or 3. Minus 105. Let me make sure I got all that copied and pasted. Let's start breaking down the stats here, Peter. Let's start breaking down the stats. So Severino, I mentioned how good he's been on the road. Overall, just a 4.42 ERA, 1.34 whip, just 66 strikeouts and 95 2/3. Last start, 11-4 loss at home versus the Astros. He actually pitched pretty well. He allowed 9 hits over 5 innings, but he only allowed 2 earned runs and only walked 1 batter. Truth teller, believing that Tigers by 8. He says, on the road, Luis Severino in 6 starts has allowed 4 earned runs. He's not allowed a home run on the road yet this year. 194 opponents batting average. He's been excellent. Lefties hitting him harder than righties. You have Tariq Skubal on the other side, 8-2, 2.06 ERA, 0.85 whip, 117 strikeouts in 96 innings with 12 walks. Last start, 5 2/3, 9-2 win at home over the Pirates. He allowed 2 earned runs, 6 Ks, 3 walks. Wasn't his dominant self, but good enough to get the job done. At home, he's had 8 starts, and he's allowed 11 earned runs, and he's only allowed 1 home run, and that 69 strikeout to 5 walk ratio is spectacular. Righties, of course, hitting him harder than lefties. Lefties don't touch him. Athletics versus lefties, just 229, 656 over the last 30 days, while the Tigers are 234, 701 versus righties. And both bullpens have been bad. Now, very few bullpens have been as bad as the Athletics, 5.74 ERA, 1.56 whip. But Tigers bullpen has struggled, 4.62 ERA, 1.30 whip. And if we think that it's going to be a spot where the bullpens are going to be vulnerable late, I'm not sure why I'd want to have a pre-bet on the over, rather move on that at some point live. Peter Loshak, take it away for us here, Athletics Tigers.
Well, this one I don't have anything on. The line is high. Obviously, I do expect Skubal to have a good start again, but all his pitching props were nothing that I pulled the trigger on. And Severino, high volatility, so I would definitely, anyway, I was betting this game, I would take, dog line if I could. high volatility with Severino. Would not at all be surprised if Detroit is, wins by 8. And in fact, I don't know, maybe the best way to bet this would be like Detroit minus 3.5 or something like that. But it's going to be a pass for me. Screwball coming off of a, subpar start where the weather conditions were affecting him a little bit. And here, there's supposed to be a little bit of rain or drizzle. Possibly it might not be there. Obviously hot. So I'm going to total pass on this one.
Nutflush says over at Will Hill, the bet of Detroit by 4 or more is only plus 160.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm surprised. DC Capper parlaying the Tigers and the Dodgers. Jake Burns, interesting, very, very interesting. We're going to be talking about that here shortly. Well, maybe we shouldn't believe these extreme splits that Severino has, but he's certainly been excellent on the road, and he's certainly comfortable in these conditions. So I guess there's nothing here really for me. AM looking at that over here. And Kong's clips Detroit first 5 minus 1.5 on his card. Nutflush says, why is this number a 7.5? I mean, I think that number makes sense to me here. Can you expand on that, Nutflush, my man? So anything here for you, Peter, or do we roll into Jays Guardians is next up for us. Let's roll over there. Toronto Blue Jays 41-36, 16-20 on the road at the Cleveland Guardians 39-37, 19-15 at home. Let's get this up. Here we go. We have Eric Lauer, who's been excellent. He's just been so good. Found a home here in Toronto. Lauer 3-1, 2.29 ERA, 0.93 WHIP. And the free bands play today is Tigers -1 first 5. Minus 145, so a lot of backers for the Tigers. Troy says, anyone as bullish on the Blue Jays as I am? Just my 2 cents in the house as well. Jake Burns is. He's on the first 5 and full game, and TJ's on Toronto first 5 money line as well. Lauer 3-1, 2.29 ERA, 0.93 WHIP, 36 strikeouts and 35 in the third. He's been very good. We have Justin McKelvey with the Blue Jays team total over 4.5. in his pocket. And TJ says happy to be on A's Island. I came so close to that first 3+1/2 on the A's. I don't know. I'm gonna wait a little longer. Can I get 9 outs from Severino? We have on the road. Lauer's been great. He's been great just everywhere. 19 of 30s, pitched in 6 games on the road. Only started 2. 19 and a third, 17 Ks, 7 walks, 176 points batting average. Great splits. A lefty allowing righties to hit just 147, 554 is pretty spectacular. And obviously, won't last. Logan Allen on the other side, 5-4, 4.21 ERA, 1.48 WHIP. He's been much, much better of late. 5 and a third last start at the Giants. Allowed 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 4 Ks, and 2 walks. At home, he's been okay. 252 opponents batting average, 22 Ks and 9 walks. Lefties hit him hard split-wise, but his splits are improving each and every start. The lefties that he will see here are none. He's going to see a full stream of right-handed bats, so the switch split, 257, 723 are what righties are hitting off him. Jays versus lefties, the numbers are dropping. And there was, we had a conversation, Peter, about how numbers can lie. We had the conversation here. And, I don't need to get into it here, but the very first time I heard that men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie, the person who said that was, going into a spreadsheet and changing results.
Yeah.
And the password of the spreadsheet for that show had to be changed because of the guy who said numbers don't lie.
Yeah, that's what we call a stupid, idiotic semantic trip. Obviously, numbers aren't people, so they can't lie. People lie with numbers, including you to yourself at times.
Yes, you can make numbers fit whatever argument that you have. Jays versus lefties, they're smashing them, but the idea is, who have they gone up against? Some questionable lefties that they've seen and hit. Guardians versus lefties, 216, 589. They just can't hit them. And then both bullpens have been very good last 30 days. Jays bullpen 3.40 ERA, 1.24 whip, while the Guardians bullpen 3.03 ERA, 1.31 whip. Take it away for us, Mr. Loshak. Blue Jays, Guardians.
It's like when people say, oh, you don't trust science? No, of course I trust science. I don't trust scientists, but I trust science. Yeah. You fucking asshole.
But also, let me give the cash flow. 65% of the tickets on the Jays, 64% of the cash on the Guardians. So interesting. More tickets on the Jays, less cash. 75% of the tickets on the under and 65% of cash on the over. This over has climbed. It opened up at 8.5. Well, it opened up at 9, minus 112 to the under, but then it went to 8.5 8 minutes later. And it spent a long time at 8.5. It spent 15 hours there before it got back to 9 this morning. So overall, we have 9 cents of movement to the over, but you could look at it a little differently. Then we have the Jays with this huge move towards them. I mean, this is minus 104. They open up as dogs, and they are now minus 119. So 15 cents of movement, but you can call it bigger than that just because they've gone from dog to favorite. Take it away, my friend, Jays Guardians.
I definitely like Toronto here, and I bet a bunch of props related to that. I don't like the spot for Logan Allen, and Lauer isn't pitching well. Obviously that is something that is not likely to continue. How far and how extensive that will be, I don't know. But Lauer should be okay here. This is not a terribly fearsome situation for him, and I don't like the spot for Allen. I definitely hit Ernie Clement over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs, minus 142. I'll take that one. I'll add that one on there. And I lean Allen over 2.5 earned runs, although I bet a bunch of batter props that are correlated, so I didn't bet that one. But liking Straw 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs at plus money, and probably the old Bichette 2.5 at even money as well, and probably Guerrero at 2.5 at plus money also. But yeah, in general, liking Toronto. I'll probably have a bunch more bets before the game goes. Toronto team total over, Toronto first 5, all that.
Yeah, I mean, this is all one-way traffic. I mean, this is a Jays or don't move. So, and I've liked what Logan Allen has done. I believe, he's one of the pitchers we can take advantage of because he's better than his numbers indicate.
He's all right. Yeah.
I'm
not down on him long-term in general. Sure.
But can't do it here. I mean, the market is just, really announcing that the Jays are the spot. So, heed the market's advice or probably stay off. Are you going to move it all on the Jays or just going to have correlated action?
I'll take Clement and minus 142, and I guess I'll add on Bichette 2.5 at plus 100. I'll add that one on, and maybe I'll add on some other stuff before the show's over.
Okay, well, let us know
plus
here.
105 Bichette, 105.
That's over 2.5?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's roll on. True Teller thinking that we see runs here. I maybe I should just come to grips with the Jays being the spot. Troy saying the question is Jays first 5 or money line. Viper.
I'll add on Guerrero 2.5 at plus 115 as well.
Vladdy Guerrero over 2.5 at plus 115. All right, DC, I've been well, my friend. It is great to see you. Thank you for joining us. Looking forward to see your action today. And Irish King is on the Mets money line, and that's exactly the game we roll into. Robert Cherry also on the Mets money line. We have Spencer Strider going up against Frankie Montas. Frankie Montas. This is such an interesting spot. You have a pitcher in Frankie Montas who looked really bad, especially of late in his rehab assignment, making his first start of the year. That's not when we started working together, Pete, I would put too much emphasis on that. I've learned now that that's not necessarily indicative of what he's going to do in his first opportunity here in the show. Yes, Frankie soft toss, Frankie fuck toss, Montas.
Wait, I'm sorry. You put too much emphasis on what?
The struggles in the rehab assignment.
Right.
And I've learned that's not, it's just not been helpful for my ROI.
Right.
But let's talk about the struggles that he had. First off, he signed a 1-year, $17 million contract with the Mets in the offseason, player option for 2026. He had some nice moments last year, but he wasn't that good. Overall, 4.84 ERA, 1.37 whip, 148 strikeouts, 66 walks, 150 and 2/3. That was between the Reds and the Brewers. Mr. McKelvey, Olsen, RBI, and Acuna over 1.5 bases. At the end of his rehab assignment, he allowed 13 runs, Pete, in 6 2/3. And supposedly, the Mets considered just bringing him out of the bullpen to start. But they'll have him as the number 5 spot in the rotation. 18 2/3 in the minors between High A Brooklyn and Triple A. And he had a 12.05 ERA, 12 strikeouts, 8 walks. And in the 18 2/3, Pete, he allowed 8 home runs. So the market is telling us to not pay attention to it. That's what the market is telling us. Don't pay attention to it. He's going up against Spencer Strider at Citi Field in Queens, New York. Let's take a look at the weather here. Weather-wise in Queens. Sorry, where the hell is it? Here we go. 98 Fahrenheit. Feels like 99, 8 miles per hour left to right and slightly in. Dies down to 7.2 miles per hour. A Ballpark Pal has the Citi Field minus 11%, Pete. So it's plus 1% homers, minus 30% doubles and triples, and minus 3% singles, which is very interesting. Spencer Strider, 2-5, 3.89 ERA, 1.14 whip, 45 strikeouts over 37 innings. Allowed 5 home runs this year. He's coming off a nice start at home. Versus these Mets, 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 8 Ks, 1 walk. On the road, he struggled a bit. He's only had 4 starts. He's allowed 10 earned runs in 20 innings. 211 opponents batting average. Lefties hitting him a little harder than righties. We get to the line history here, Peter. We have the New York Mets at plus 131. They opened up at plus 130, or now plus 130. So now we're right back from where we started. From a total perspective here, we have a 9 minus 114 to the under. This opened up minus 107 to the under. So 7 cents of movement towards the under. I want to go back to that line history again here. So this opened up at plus 130, and there was an immediate move to Montas. So this was 5:23 p.m. At 2 a.m., this is a plus 123. This was also a plus 123 at 9 in the morning. I had thought this line was, clearly moving towards the New York Mets, and now it's just standing still, which in itself is suspicious here. AM on Mets minus 1 says all this Braves money, I get to align with the books while they don't budge their lines. Count me in. Let's take a look at that cash flow for this Mets spot. We have 57% of the tickets on the Braves and 93% of the cash. 83% of tickets, 91% cash on the under. What the hell are you going to do with Frankie Montas here, Mr. Loshak?
Well, you're right that, minor league, spring training results, minor league rehab starts results, as far as the box score is concerned, are certainly, take it with a grain of salt, or at the minimum, educate yourself on what else was going on in those starts, because a lot of times they're working on their mechanics, they're working on a new pitch, and they don't care if it doesn't pan out. But with the case of Montas, and that might be the case here, but I think people are overthinking this too much. I don't like the spot for Montas. I did bet his under 4.5 strikeouts prop, because even in he was giving up runs in the minors and not getting strikeouts at all, and So, I made a few bets. I definitely bet Olsen 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Montas under 4.5 strikeouts. And I don't necessarily love the spot for Strider either. Lindor, 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs at just like minus 135. I hit that. And then Nimmo and Soto at 1.5 at just like 115 or so. I know it's a run suppressing park or whatever, but you have the ballpark number for this game, Jim?
Yeah, it's terrible. Minus 11% overall.
Right.
It's minus 30% doubles and triples, and then pretty much even everywhere else.
I mean, that makes sense. It's a run suppressing park, even when there's, wind and weather and everything. But I am willing to bet appropriately sized that Montas will struggle a bit. You know what I mean? Look, if he comes in and gets 5 innings, 3 runs, and 4 strikeouts, that's not bad. I'll still cash the strikeout prop. I still might cash the Olsen prop. So I would if Montas comes in and really has a strong start, 6 innings, 2 runs, hats off to him, and I will be happy to eat the losses. I'll be okay with it.
We have a ton of interesting action here in the chat, Pete. We have Odds Bunch Sharpie saying, I hate betting K-prop unders. He's 6-3 all year betting K-prop unders.
Yeah.
But he says he's 3-0 when the books do what they're doing here. He said last week Strider was 7.5 Ks and he had 8. Now he's at 6.5. He says books don't play with props on back-to-back. Strider under 6.5 strikeout.
Yeah. And in general, I agree with that. In general, I don't love the spot for Strider either. Not that he's going to get crushed, but that it'll be a subpar for him start, according to my numbers here.
We have Mr. McKelvey on Olsen RBI and Acuna over 1.5 bases. We have DC Capper on the Braves money line, and we have Mets -1 here for AM. Mets -1 for AM. So Robert Cherry, as I said on the Mets, Ronnie Lofton on Nemo over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs.
Yeah, I like that one. I agree with that.
And Sharpie says books don't give out free money or play with K-props on back-to-back. Spooner says we've only seen 2 9s at Citi Field all year. Screams over. Strider just saw these guys. I think both pitchers get touched even with the weather. I want. I was very interested in the over. It just doesn't correlate enough for me at this point. But I certainly wanted to. I questioned what the hell Montas was going to do out here. So I don't know. I'm going to need more time to sit with this one here. And Troy Torrance says there's a 0 chance for the Mets to win.
Who says that?
Mr. Troy Torrance.
Wow. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
There we go. All right. Peter, let us know what you're going to make official here.
I'm also adding on the Jays first 5 -125. I'll shop around and see if I can get even better, but I'm gonna add that one on. And for this game here, I'll definitely have Montas under 4.5 strikeouts. Olsen, Lindor, and Nemo all 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs, and I might add some other Braves props as well.
Huh. I mean, let's see the difference here. I'm curious to see what the first 5 is compared to the full game here, because both bullpens have been pretty good. Got the 9 full game, the 5 juice to the under first 5. It's a tricky. I'm gonna need more time on it. Big Zo saying books are screaming Jays early. He is going to pounce on that as well. All right, let's roll here. Okay, so let me just go back to that. Oh, sorry. That's a different sorry. What he was writing, sorry, there was a misspell. He's right, there's a 0% chance that he'll be on the Mets. Not a 0% chance that they win.
No, I know Troy Torrance would never say 0% about anything. Or 100%. I know Troy Torrance, and I think I do. I knew what he meant by that.
Let's roll on. We have a very exciting young pitcher on the hill for the Cincinnati Reds. 22-year-old former Wake Forest star Chase Burns making his major league debut. Sharpie says it's Chase Burns days. Look at the 6+ strikeouts and first 3 and first 5 team total unders for the Yankees. So Carlos Rodon going up against Chase Burns. So 22-year-old Chase Burns this year in the minors, 89 strikeouts in 66 innings. A fastball that sits at 98, gets up past triple digits. He entered the year as the 3rd best pitching prospect in minor league baseball. Jackson Jobe Andrew Painter came up. So they're saying that he is the single best prospect in the minors right now. Going up against Carlos Rodon, 9-5, 3.10 ERA, 0.98 WHIP, 114 strikeouts over 95 and 2/3, 33 walks, and 13 homers. Yes, nut flush. The weather is 98 Fahrenheit, feels like 99 there in New York. But here in Cincinnati, let's take a look at that weather here for the Reds. 96 Fahrenheit, feels like 103. 3.6 miles per hour to left field, dies down to 2.7 miles per hour. Let's take a look at the Ballpark Pals expectation of Great American Ballpark, plus 13%, plus 32% homers, minus 7% doubles and triples, and minus 1% singles. Rodon coming off a quality start, 7-3 win at home versus the Angels, 6 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs. They were all solo shots, 7 Ks and 1 walk. He's allowed 5 home runs over his last 3 games. On the road, he started 7 games, and he's been very good. Allowed just 14 earned runs in 43 innings, 201 opponent's batting average. Allowed just 4 homers on the road this season. He's allowed 5 in his last 3 games, but just 4 all season on the road. Lefties, taking care of business. Righties, 187, 614 OPS. The Yankees versus righties last 30 days, 247, 745 OPS. The Reds are struggling against lefties, 227, 676 OPS. They're smashing righties, struggling against lefties. The Yankees bullpen, both bullpens being very mediocre. Last 30 days, Yankees bullpen 3.80 ERA, 1.44 WHIP. Reds bullpen 4.63 ERA, 1.37 WHIP. We have the Yankees right now minus 154. They opened up at minus 156, so no movement there. From a total scenario here, we have the 9.5. It's minus 107 to the under. Opened up at 9, got up to 9.5, back to 9, bouncing back and forth, but we're stuck at 9.5 now. So it's a legitimate move, half-run move up. And when we get to the cash flow here for this very exciting spot, we have 58% of the tickets and 73% of cash on the over, 55% of the tickets and 86% of the cash on the Yankees, and this line not moving towards them. Redbeard on Reds money line and the under. Troy Torrance says Yankees are a must bet. And Truth Teller going to sprinkle on some Yankee homer props. Coin leaning to the over 9.5. And Sharpie says, I love backing young phenoms at home in their first start. It's less butterflies. It's warm. And you know where to go. This kid will attack this New York Yankees team who aren't hitting as it is. Take it away for us here, Peter Loshak. This is an interesting one. Yankees Reds.
Yeah, it is. I mean, obviously the guy is a real deal, but in his opening start, it's almost like I'd wait till the first inning is over, because you see this a lot. Phenoms who are ready for the bigs, even at home, sometimes come in and give up 2 runs in the first inning, and especially when they're facing, the top 3 or 4 of the Yanks lineup. So if I were going to bet Cincinnati or Burns, at minimum, I would wait until the first inning is done and then see what happens, and then maybe live bet it, or maybe just the first half of the first inning. Rodon, giving up home runs now. I did take a shot with De La Cruz, 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Very cheap price right there. Thinking about McLean as well. Rodon, still very good, but giving up home runs now, and obviously it's not a great park to be doing that in. Burns minor league starts great, though.
Cheshire says Yankees can't hit a goddamn thing. Truth Teller says I bet on proven pitchers and fade everyone else. So he is on the Yankees here. A very interesting question mark, this 22-year-old phenom out of Wake Forest. So Yankees, Reds here, Pete. I feel like the over is in play. Half-run move to the over makes sense to me. It makes sense that if one of these pitchers doesn't get touched up a bit, that the bullpens have not been very good, and this is quite offensive weather. What would keep you off of an over here in Yankees Reds?
An over in the Yankees Reds? Well, because you do have Rodon, and you do have a guy who's likely to be, at minimum, a quality starter for a while. You know what I mean? I don't expect a big bounce back from Rodon here, but it could happen. And I don't expect 7 shutout innings from the rookie, but it could happen,
Troy Torrance, as long as Reds don't close below plus 115, it's an all-day fade spot. Matty Ice, my man, love to hear what your plan is for that Tigers game. Mr. Heat says, I don't know, the kid might be in trouble. All right, well, I have some interest in the over. I'm not sure if I get there here. AM says if this market holds up, looks like great Reds -1 spot. But again, the money was heavy on the Reds this morning, and it has since flipped towards the New York Yankees. Anything you want to make official here, Pete, or do we roll on?
I'm going to use De La Cruz 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. And I'm also going to add on Acuna 1.5 total bases as well, -129. It's between that and the 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. I'll just take the total bases for Acuna right now.
All right. Well, let's
maybe roll. I'll think about it. I'm gonna have one Acuna prop. I don't know.
Let's roll on. Next up for us, we have the most interesting line move here of the day. Diamondbacks, Chicago White Sox. We're Rate Field in Chicago, Illinois for this one. Let's take a look at the weather here at Rate Field. We have, moving a little too quick here. Sorry. We have 78 Fahrenheit, feels like 82. So Chicago is not as sticky as other parts here. 8 miles per hour left to right across the diamond. It's very slightly out there after an hour, and then it kind of comes back to across the diamond. We have light rain expected late in the game. Could be a little bit of rain earlier. Let's see what Ballpark Pal has Rate Field. And they have it at +4%, +15% homers, -15% doubles and triples, and +3% singles. JW, no, we've not covered a CFL yet. I've been studying it and have not moved on anything. But there's moving parts here, quarterback carousel. So yes, I have not moved on anything. The lines don't seem to be moving at this point either, which is a shock. Usually there's heavy movement early, so nothing for me yet, JW, but we'll be attacking it this week. I promise that. Ryan Nelson's looked very good, Peter. Ryan Nelson's looked very good. 4-2, 3.88 ERA, 1.08 whip on the season. Allowed just 5 jacks and 55 2/3. Coming off a 9-5 win at the Jays, looked very good. 5 2/3, 1 hit, 1 earned run, 4 Ks, 2 walks. On the road this year, he's pitched in 7 games, started 3, and he's gotten hit hard. It's I know he's coming off a nice performance at the Jays, but that helped those very poor road numbers. He's getting all lefties out. He's struggling against righties, 246, 98 OPS. We have Jordan Leisure, who is going to be the opener here. He's been pretty good. 2-4, 4.23 ERA, 1.52 whip, been pretty good of late. 34 strikeouts and 27 2/3. And then Tyler Alexander comes in as the primary. And Tyler Alexander started the year with the Brewers, was sent packing. He made 4 starts, appeared in 21 games, went 3-5 with a 6.19 ERA, 1.49 whip. He got hit hard. Then he's come over to the White Sox, and his whip is even higher here. But he's managed to get lucky and keep the earned runs off of his record. His last appearance was June 20th, and he went 4 innings, allowed 4 hits, didn't allow a run, didn't walk a batter. And he's, pitching for his life here. Amber Hart on the White Sox money line. And Matty Guy says Arizona smashes righties. Leisure at home has not been good. With Leisure, the sample size of 27 2/3, I didn't go over the home splits, but Wine Time says market is telling me White Sox are the play. Now I know that Alexander's supposed to be the primary, Pete. In the last little while, when the White Sox, we just watched against the Jays, they went to a bullpen day and they looked very, very good. The market moved towards them. They won by margin. Let's take a look at the line history here. We've talked about this being the most interesting line move of the day. It certainly caught me by surprise because I like Ryan Nelson. First off, this total is dropping. It opened up at 9 -117 to the under at 2:45 p.m. yesterday, and now it's 8.5 -119 to the under. So 8s are coming. Then on the money line here, we have the White Sox at +113. They opened up at +137. Other books opened up at +140. This got down to +108 at 9:30 this morning. So now we're up to +113, but still a huge move towards the Chicago White Sox. And when we take a look at the cash flow, for the spot. We have 84% of the tickets and 95% of cash on Arizona. 50-50 ticket count on the total, but 76% of cash is on the under. Matty Ice says Nelson ERA has not been good on the road, but what White Sox batter has that power to hurt him? The rest of his numbers have been solid. I get it. And we know that there's no Corbin, TJ. Corbin's going to be gone for a while. But likely no Naylor out either. So he says throw out Arizona unders. And he took the under 9 last night. But Ronnie Lofton says not fading this potent Diamondbacks offense at the moment. Mr. Loshak, take it away. Diamondbacks, White Sox.
Well, before I heard what you had to say about it, I thought that, I will say I did take a leisure one strikeout prop at like minus 280 or whatever, just for, I bet a couple of Nelson props to have a nice start under 4.5 hits. I bet that one. And that's the only one I bet. I bet, I would expect Nelson to have another decent short start. And leaning, Perdomo hits, runs, and RBIs, maybe Marte again. But yeah, I did bet Nelson under 4.5 hits, and I guess the market is saying that the White Sox are going. Where's the total headed?
Down.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well. I definitely like the under, although I didn't bet it.
The Diamondbacks versus righties last 30 days, 269, 809 OPS. That's leisure. And then after 5 outs, possibly 2 innings, they'll go up against a lefty, and they're hitting lefties a little harder, 240, 740 OPS. White Sox not hitting hard, 214, 630 OPS. And interestingly enough, the advantage in the bullpen is for the White Sox here. So Oak, Detroit under 7.5 minus 125, and Scooball over 1.5 earned runs. Non-correlated there. Our producer and co-host of the show here is ready to rock live in our home studio in the Southtown 101 in San Antonio, Texas, ready to get to work. So without further ado, please welcome our friend, Mr. Jose Bouquet, to the telecast. Jose, how are you?
Fucking mess over here. We're doing all right. Can't complain. I'll just quickly talk about 2 plays I just bet. Toronto, duh. Everyone kind of knew I was going to be on Toronto there if you've watched the program. And I'm on the White Sox in this game, Jimmy. Again, kind of duh. The line movement goes to the White Sox as everyone and their mom's betting the Arizona Diamondbacks. Just an easy play for me. I have Mike Vassell, by the way, as the primary. It's according to RotoWire. So,
oh, wow.
Grains of salt as always. But, I just think the White Sox win this game, and it's just market screaming out the White Sox here. I talked to Preston. Shout out to Preston. Like if we had one $2,000 bet today to make, what would it be? It seems like today's would be the White Sox. If this game goes.
Vassell is a big. I was surprised that Tyler Alexander was going to pitch again after going 4 innings on the 20th. So,
it's not Alexander?
No. It's Vassell is now the primary. That's been flipped. And Vassell's been good. Wow. And I want to see, because we've seen this under drop drastically, but it's not as big here. I can still get the 8.5 minus 115. Surprised that this is dropping the way it is. I think maybe this should be bet now. Because I like Nelson. We have the wow. So this is just moving so briskly here. This wasn't 8 for a minute. Now it's back at 8.5. So maybe I can wait. Maybe I can wait on it. Lex Steele says this line feels fishy. He is on the White Sox money line as well. But Billy Friedrich says, nah, I can't back my Sox today. So
Billy, not even first 5 plus a half, which is probably super juiced. But you're the guy that says White Sox first 5s.
All right, and AM says this market looks like Sunday when the White Sox played the Blue Jays. White Sox -1 for him. Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow. All right. Let's roll on. So Corbin Carroll going to be out for an extended period. The nailer is not as extended. The wrist injury for Carroll is going to keep him out for a while. All right. Let's roll on here. Next up for us. Now, this was the line that surprised me the most because I know we just talked about the White Sox, but I wanted to back the Brewers here. I wanted to back Freddie Peralta at home. 7 starts, 6 earned runs. Andrew Heaney looks like he's hit a wall.
Sorry, Jim.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll make the Nelson hits prop official, even though everyone's liking the White Sox. He's hit suppress. Even when he gets hit, he sometimes suppresses hits. So I'll make that official. 4.5. Be like even money or so.
Nelson at 4.5 hits for Loshak. All right. We have Irish King on the Brew Crew. First 5 -1.5 and the team total over here.
By the way, Jimmy, I'm sorry. I didn't hear the first part of the show. Have we talked about Pete's background?
We have not. I mean, he talked about it a little bit.
What do you have to say about it, Pete?
People are here for free winning picks, Jose Bouquet. No one gives a shit.
I just you seem like you're right beside the window today. You just wanted some.
Well,
sun?
yeah. I mean, it's you forget how heat and all this thermodynamic stuff works until it's 100.
Yeah, because it's hot over there, huh? You guys are actually fucking getting some heat, and you have all that hair. I'm surprised you're not fully shaved right now with all this.
I'm cool, baby. But change it up for a minute.
Okay. All right. Sorry, Jimmy.
No, it's all good. It is all good. J Dub, by the way, love it. Says hit an 8-teamer, all MLB, 20% boosted last night by accident. Says thought I picked the Twins. Didn't want to look at my ticket. Checked this morning. Had racks.
I love that for you, J Dub. That's hilarious.
That's beautiful. All right, let's roll on. We got Sir Mackey in the house. Robert Frankel on the Brewers -1. So let's get back to this Brewers spot here. Andrew Heaney is starting to get hit and hit hard. And Freddie Peralta is being spectacular at home. Heaney coming off allowing 7 earned runs over 4 innings, 9-2 loss at the Tigers. His numbers are escalating. And he has the reverse splits, but I still think he was just pitching way over his head and feels like things have come back to normal. Going up against Freddie Peralta. So the first part about the stadium here that we are dealing with, American Family Field, is they don't have air conditioning. And this affected me last year when it was very, very hot, that, the pitchers were just sweating buckets. And let's take a look at what the weather is here in Milwaukee. It's not that hot in Chicago. Oh, it's not hot here either. So roof will be closed, though. There's light rain in the forecast, but it's not hot. So take all that away here. We have DC Capper leaning towards Milwaukee, and Lex Steele says Brewers cash cow. And we have stacks here. The Brewers over 4.5 is the stacks play today number 2. Shout out to our guy Justin McKelvey.
Stacks, 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 stacks.
Huh. I guess maybe it's just whenever you take a couple days off of MLB, it's just hard to be in attack mode with all of these moving parts. And I wanted to fade Andrew Heaney today badly and back Freddie Peralta. The Pirates versus righties last 30 days, 253, 679 OPS. Brewers have been raking against lefties, 306, 826 OPS. If you want to look for something to back the Pirates, it's their bullpen's been very good. Last 30 days, 2.97 ERA, 1.02 whip. Here we go. Let's take a look at the line history and then the cash flow. First off, we have a 7.5 -110 to the under. This opened up at 8, lasted for a little over 3 hours before it moved to 7.5. When we get to the money line here for this one, we have the Brewers at -199. They opened up at -203, so no movement towards them, which really surprised me. And when we get to the cash flow here, we have 73% of the tickets, 80% of the cash on the Brewers. 50% of tickets, 53% of cash on the under. Mr. Bouquet, take it away.
First, I'll ask for Matty Ice's sake. They want to know what you're drinking, Pete.
Huh?
What are you
I don't even
sipping
know.
on?
I just dump shit. It looks good though, right? It looks good. It tastes good. It feels good. That's all that matters, really.
There you go, Matty Ice. For this game, I stayed off. I kind of echoing AM sentiments in the chat there. He's basically saying he leans Pirates, but do you really want to take the Pirates with a not a favorable team? Obviously, there's not much line movement going towards the Brewers here. As a big favorite, so I honestly, like he says, I'd probably lean Pittsburgh here, maybe first 5, but I can't get there so far.
Yeah, I hear that. It's very annoying.
Maybe a first 5 plus a half here, but
exceedingly annoying here. I wanted to move on this game. Mr. Loshak, anything for you in Pirates Brewers?
Yeah, I took a few Milwaukee hitter props, and I would expect Peralta to be good, although I didn't bet that one yet. Thought about the over-outs prop, but it was too high. But what are people expecting from Heaney? I mean, in general, he's fairly decent, but fadeable. I think they're okay bounce back spots for him, but I'm not statistically seeing that this would be one of those. Is there any reason to think Heaney will be decent here?
I mean, he's the best. He's one of the best lefties against righties. I haven't checked the leaderboards in a little while, so I'm going to double check him. But he used to be one of the best lefties against righties. And there's only one bat in this lineup that really scares me, in Contreras. So
I'll take Christian Yelich 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs at minus like 130 or so. That is a suspiciously low line, but I'll take it. And I would also like to take a shot with some of the others, but maybe I'll play it safe here.
Frustrating. I was hoping to move on that one. Let's roll on to the next spot on the board. Head to Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota for Mariners Twins. Mariners now 3 games over 500 overall because of their road play, 20 and 18 on the road. They've struggled at home. The Twins are 20 and 16 at home. The Twins bullpen the last 30 days is a 7 ERA, 1.75 whip, by far the worst in Major League Baseball. Let's talk about the weather here in Minnesota to get us started. 78 Fahrenheit, feels like 75, 6.3 miles per hour in, dies down at 5.4 miles per hour. A ballpark pal here for this one has a target plus 2%, minus 13% homers, plus 11% doubles and triples, and plus 2% singles. Wow, they're saturated in the house. And we come to the number 1 stacks play of the day. Seattle, Minnesota over 8.5, minus 105. And he's going heads up with Wine Time, who's on the under 8.5. Says can't trust these offenses, and it looks fairly pitcher friendly. Weather. Let's talk about Luis Castillo, 4-5, 3.3 ERA, 1.24 whip. Coming off a 3-1 loss at home versus the Red Sox. Quality start for him. He's been much better at home than he's been on the road. On the road, 41 hits and 33 in the third. He's only struck out 26 batters, allowed 17 earned runs, and opponents hitting 297 off of him. Lefties and righties both getting in on the action. Going up against Chris Paddock, coming off 12-5 win at the Reds. He allowed 4 runs over 5 innings. He's been much better at home than he has been on the road. Mariners versus righties are starting to hit 269, 767 OPS last 30 days, while the Twins are hitting 257, 48 OPS last 30 days. Mariners bullpen has been mediocre, while the Twins bullpen has been absolute trash. Let's get into the line history here. We have the Twins at minus 106. They opened up minus 109, now minus 106, so a very little movement. From a total perspective, we have the 8.5. It's minus 107 to the under. This opened up 8.5 minus 115 to the under. So 7 cents of movement from plus 102 to minus 105 on the over. And then when we get to the cash flow here, we have 60% of the tickets on the under, but 78% of cash on the over. 60% of the tickets on the Mariners, but 54% of cash on the Twins. Mr. Bouquet, take it away.
It's a tough game with these two pitchers. Well, I'll say this. It's interesting that these two pitchers, Chris Paddock and Luis Castillo, having a minus 110 line. I guess normally I would have lined this minus 130 Seattle Mariners. But I'm hearing what people say in the chat. The Seattle offense is exactly who they are every year. This is just what they are. They haven't made any changes to their offense. So like, I hate that they're gonna waste Cal Raleigh hitting 32 home runs, and you won't find a bigger Cal Raleigh MVP guy than me for the next half a season, because I don't want that tall fucking New York to get another one. So I hope Cal Raleigh keeps hitting him. He is the whole offense, though. The whole boat is made out of Cal Raleigh and his fat ass. So I'm a little worried at that aspect. Jimmy, I'll just echo the markets again one more time, like you just mentioned it here. There's 60% of the bets on Seattle. There's 54% of the money on Minnesota. And surprisingly, a lot of money is on the over. So I'd probably lean over, shockingly enough. Sorry, wine time, but I think it's going to be a stay-off game for me.
I'm interested in the Twins, but
I would agree with that. It's Twins or nothing because of this fishy line.
But I still fear that bullpen, and then I would have to focus on Paddock over Castillo, which doesn't sound right.
It doesn't, and it's shocking that this line's minus 110.
5 cents difference if you want Castillo first 5 cents more.
That doesn't make sense either.
No, 5 cents more.
You're saying it doesn't make sense that Minnesota would be a better bet first 5 than full game?
No, I don't. It doesn't make sense that they're only 5 cents more expensive with Luis Castillo, who we think is a better pitcher than Chris Paddock.
We used to.
Yeah.
I mean, we still do. I shouldn't say we don't, but
maybe not today with this fucking market, but traditionally Castillo is better.
Certainly the margin is tightened between these two pitchers.
Yes.
Peter, what are your thoughts?
Well, Castillo is definitely, a notch or two worse on the road, less good on the road. Still a quality pitcher, but not scary to bet against. I did take a shot with Larnach over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs at about even money. That's surprising, and I might add on the RBI prop for him as well at almost plus 200. And Seattle, I've been doing well with their hitter props in recent games. All of them, Raleigh, everyone in that lineup is Razarena, all of them. And statistically, they should be okay here again, but I'm not going to bet any of it. Paddock, can be good, especially at home. So I'm going to stay off of Seattle in this one. If you gave me a free bet, I would throw it on Minnesota to win, and I would lean the over, but I didn't bet either of those. I did bet Larnach hits, runs, and RBIs, leaning Brooks Lee as well, but I kind of want to see the lineups first. And if that guy Willie Castro's back, I might take him hits, runs, and RBIs as well. So looking at a few Minnesota batter props, that's about it.
Yeah, I'm interested in the Twins. I don't have a ton of action right now here. Matty Ice says Castillo's career numbers at Target Field are awful. Yeah, I expect to get to the window on the Twins' first 5. That's my expectation here. Back Paddock where he's been really good, and fade Castillo where he's been bad. And
it just scares me because I like the Seattle lineup a lot more, especially not in Seattle. That's the only thing that scares me.
No, it's a legitimate fear here. It's a legitimate fear. Larnach at DH is, but God, it's pretty weak. The back half of that lineup is weak. You have Correa, Clemens, Jeffers, and Brooks Lee is expected. I'm still interested here. Truth Teller says I think both pitchers do well here. 18 2/3 of trash for Castillo here at Target Field. Truth Teller is moving on the under. Here. All right, let's roll on. My expectations be on Twins first 5. Anything for you, Mr. Bouquet, or do we move on?
No, but I've written down Twins first 5. I might move on it later.
Okay. All right, so Twins first 5 is the expectation at this point. All right, let's roll on. 7:40 p.m. Eastern is next up. Tampa Bay Rays at Kansas City Royals. Rays 43-35, 16-12 on the road at the Royals, who are 38-40 and 19-19 at home. We have Bradley going up against Bubic. Bradley coming off getting lit up and smoked in his last start. We have 89 Fahrenheit. Feels like 93 and possible light rain early, possible light rain late, but shouldn't have much of an effect. 8 miles per hour out to left center, dies down to 7.2 miles per hour. Ballpark Pal has Kauffman Stadium plus 10% overall, minus 10% homers, plus 24% doubles and triples, and plus 8% singles. So Wine Time says, I just want to keep betting the Rays and Mr. McKelvey on the over 3.5. Team total for the Rays, AM on the Rays -1. Take a look at the line history then for this spot. We have the Rays, this total at 8.5. It's 8.5 and it's -112 to the over. This opened up at 8 and it was -1.8. 8.5 and it was -118 to the over. It dropped to 8 at 9:30 this morning. Then got back to 8.5. Overall, though, we've had 14 cents of movement towards the under, which is pretty legitimate. On the money line here, we have, here we go. We have the Royals at -127. They opened up at -136. It's a legitimate move towards the Rays. Matty Ice says yonder Diaz against Bubic. True Teller says Rays are number 1 road underdog team. Lex Steele looking at the Nerfy. Isaiah Scurry looking at the under 9 here. And JW says Royals money line need to get back from my Rays destroying the Tigers. Truth Teller going to bet the Rays. Let's keep the focus on baseball in the chat here. If we can, there's a lot of shit going on in the world right now, and we don't want to hear what you guys think of it.
Are they talking about Pride Month?
No, you can talk all about Pride. Pete, is there?
Let's not talk about Pride Month either. I don't want to see anything about Pride Month in the fucking chat. All right.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Taj Bradley going up against Bubic here. Bradley 4-5, 4.95 ERA, 1.35 WHIP, 80 innings, 73 Ks, 34 walks, and 12 homers. Last start went 1 1/3, 6 hits, 7 runs, 6 of which were earned. 2 homers, 2 Ks, 1 walk. It was a 12-8 win at home over the Orioles. It was a fucked up game. I know a lot of you guys were on the Orioles. They took an 8-0 lead, and then 12-8 they lose. It was absolutely nuts. On the road, Bradley has been quite good. 14 earned runs over 31 1/3. It's tough to pitch in that little minor league bandbox. Lefties hitting 241 with a 744 OPS. 774 OPS. Righties 248, 700. Going up against Bubic, coming off a 6-3 win at the Tigers. He's been excellent all year. 2.12 ERA, 1.12 WHIP, 88 strikeouts over 85 innings. He's only allowed 3 home runs all year. At home, 6 starts, and he's only allowed 10 earned runs. So you have Bradley where you want him. You have Bubic where you want him. The Rays are hitting lefties very hard. 294, 840 OPS. Royals are not hitting righties. 255, 699 OPS. Rays bullpen's been very good now for an extended period, while the Royals bullpen is starting to pitch a little better, still pretty mediocre. That is the situation here. Rays, Royals. We know the move towards the Rays here. That's the big one. And then this total, I just want to take one more look at it because I think these pitchers are more than capable of pitching well. This move towards the under, these starters are more than capable of pitching well in this spot. And then cash flow wise for the Rays spot, we have 61% of the tickets on the over and 90% of the cash. It's making the under more appealing. 56% of tickets, 64% cash on the Royals line, moving towards the Rays. I mean, the Rays and the under are very appealing spots here. Take it away for us, Mr. Bouquet. Floor is yours.
Yeah, I was kind of again surprised how big of a favorite the Royals were here. The Rays have been playing super hot baseball. Number 1 fan of the Rays, Wine Time Sports, will tell you that in the chat, and he's been cashing out on them all year. So, and hopefully you cash on them later on in the year with those futures, Wine Time. But it's just weird that this line is as big as it is. Again, I'll just echo the market. Mainly for my sake here, honestly, but 61% of the bets and 90% of the money on the over. It's kind of a rare occurrence, especially on this site, Jimmy. You know, we see on this site, it seems to be more unders than overs, and is one of those rare games where it's bet to the over, especially. And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Jimmy, I'm going to refresh my total site, but we've gone down. You know, it was a juice -120 to begin with the 9, and that's, you know, assuming where it is. Where we used to play poker. But it's 8.5, and Penny, was juiced to the over. Now I'm juiced to the under. It's interesting. This kind of screams under. So, Pete, what do you think?
It does.
I don't know, but I'm going to add on Brooks Lee against Castillo, 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs, -122. All right, this one. What's going on with Bradley tipping pitches? What's going on there? Do we know?
That's a good question. I think that getting him out of that AAA ballpark is he's been very good when he's outside of it. I can't speak on whether or not he's been tipping pitches, but we know a lot of young pitchers have been dealing with that this year.
Yeah.
And which way is the market moving so far?
Oh, it's clearly moving to the Rays and clearly moving to the under.
All right, so far, right. But I mean, they sent him to Citi Field. That's a great pitcher-friendly park. He struggled there also. Maybe it was just he was frazzled psychologically from having just gotten crushed.
Also a good baseball team there in Citi Field now.
Can you go over the lefties, Jose? Because Troy's saying name one good lefty the Rays have gotten to. Is that the case? Are these sort of fraudulent numbers against lefties?
Let me tell you right now, and by the way, for the people that are wondering, StatMuse is what I kind of use to look up the game logs versus the people. It's a little tricky because, sometimes StatMuse will spit out like some fucking garbage back at you, but it's not been bad. So I'll throw Brant Herter out of this. Trevor Rogers, 2 1/3, 5 hits, 3 earned runs. Vizcayenzo, 2 shutout innings. Ryan Weathers, 3 innings, 3 earned runs, 4 of them came across. Colton Gordon, 5 innings, 4 earned runs. Framber Valdez went 9 completo, 1 earned run. Eric
Where was
Lauer, that was on the 30th.
No,
where? That was in Tampa Bay.
Okay.
Or excuse me, Houston. That was at home for Framber.
Okay.
Eric Lauer, Brandon Walter threw 5 shutout innings. They have not seen a good lefty since Framber, and the other one would probably be Christopher Sanchez and Jesus Luzardo. Christopher Sanchez, 6 innings, 1 hit. Luzardo, 5 1/3, 6 hits, 2 earned runs. So yeah, they haven't seen a good lefty in a while. Max Fried dominated them twice already this year. So yeah, I would say that they have been fraudulent. I think that the under, for me personally, is going to be a move in this game. I think I saw Troy put a skull and bones meaning under in this game, but
yeah,
just all that money again. And I'll say one more time: the site we're using to look at these splits now is more seemingly more prone to seeing unders, allegedly, and we see 60% of the bets and 90% of the money on an over, which is kind of rare. And this over is going up, going down. Now, I did see, on the site that we were looking at, Heritage having a 9 now up there, juice 9 -123, albeit. So that thought that was a little interesting, but it won't get me off betting the under in this game. So under will be a bet when I find the damn game on my book.
Yeah, I will too. I still kind of want the Rays, but the under will definitely be on my card. Shout out to our guy Red Beard gifting a Pub Sports Radio membership. Chris Mack receiving it. Thank you, Red Beard. We got a lot of news. And look at Chris Mack receiving it and gifting one right away. What a guy! Thank you, Chris Mack. Means a ton. And Sean receiving it. Thank you, guys. That means a ton to us. And we've got some big news coming up later in the week for our members as well. And Matty Ice on the under 8.5 says KC 5 for 39 with 4 singles versus Taj. So there we go.
I have under 8.5 -110 official for me. And Jimmy, by the way, would this be a first 3 under look for you?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I would prefer not to have 3 units on this game. So maybe I just focus on the unders first 3 in full game and leave the Rays out of it. I also want to get a better idea of how much action I'm going to have. I've only have 1 bet coming in here. So Spooner says Bubik given up 20 base runners and 8 runs over his last 10 and a third. That wasn't a very good start at the Rangers, a team that's not hitting lefties. So
yeah, the shine is coming off of Chris Bubich's early, really good start.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Peter, anything you're making official here for Rays Royals?
No, I mean, I was thinking about Bubic over 5.5 strikeouts and maybe Vinny Pasquantino 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs, but I don't know. People are expecting Bubic to be going forward not closer to his early season form.
I'm a little worried about that. If I'm being
worried
honest.
about that. All right, yeah,
But I'm still on the under.
I will add on Larnach RBI though plus 205. I'll add that one in the Minnesota game.
My hope is that the market is saying that we see first few weeks of the season Chris Bubic here.
Yeah.
But overall, second half of the season, Pete, I think Chris Bubic will be more of a fade than he was in the first half. Yeah.
I mean, he's a prime of his life, 27 years old, 6'3",
Pete, I'm the same fucking age, and I woke up and my body was sore. I was fucking feeling rickety. I was like, oh my god.
I hear you. All right, he had a crappy start against the Yankees, who should be good. Went into Texas and underwhelmed, although he still got strikeouts. Maybe got a little hit unlucky on that one. And all of a sudden, we're disregarding 8 straight shutout starts or whatever it was, or 8 straight 1 or 0 starts. I'm not saying he's lights out, but I'm saying. Is he on a decline right now?
I mean, you heard Spoons. His last 10 1/3 innings have been garbage. 20 base runners, 8 runs. I'm on the under, so I just think he's just going to wear it down. I don't think he can keep it up.
I mean, he in that start against Texas, he got touched up by Langford. He got touched up right off the bat. He allowed 2 runs in the first inning. And then he was allowed 1 run the rest of the way. I like I just don't I would prefer not to have 3 units in this game, so but maybe it calls for that. I'm going to study it a little more. Jose on the full game under. For me, the full game under I want to be involved in. The question is, do I add the first 3 under and do I add the Rays?
Oh, by the way, Jimmy, mini story here. My bookie was not pleased when I started sending screenshotting lines because I bet the home run prop. Shout out to Deacon Mike. I bet the over 4.5 and against Seattle that cashed easily, and then I bet the over 3.5 the next day, and he was not pleased about odd shopping and all this stuff. So it was a very interesting conversation I had. And I considered doing the same thing now with first 3 unders to make him be like, okay, I need to start adding this stuff on my site and all this stuff. But
so expand on that. What was he so upset about?
He wants me to not odd shop and just bet on his site, basically, even though he doesn't have some bets offered. And I had to hold back and forth with him this weekend about that. So that was very interesting. Yeah, I know your book. You shop, you send your guy. You don't have a site, so I know that's foreign for you.
He just wants you to be ignorant and shitty gambler.
Yes, essentially.
Of course.
Yeah.
He wants you to lose. He wants you to suck.
Yeah. So I was thinking about doing the same thing with first 3s, screenshot, sending them to him to bet the first 3s. And if he complains about it, I'm just just put it on your fucking site. Then I won't have to do this, and then eventually I'll have to leave. But
so he was sort of upset because you were sending him different books, what they were putting the number at.
Yeah, because he didn't have it offered on his site, and I wanted to get the bet in, so I pulled old Jimmy and I screenshot him. Can I get this, and he was nonplussed about it. Yeah.
Oh God.
And my fucking, obviously you guys know my units is $25, so I'm not it's not like fucking hitting these things for 200 a pop like what you guys would be doing. So yeah.
Wow. We got that's crazy. I mean, you just
I know. I figured I knew you especially because I know you do that with all your bets and everything with your local, and my guy's a prick apparently. So, but shout out to him.
All right. Well,
you know what? I'll take a shot with it. If it loses, it loses. Bubic over 5.5 strikeouts minus 101.
I like it. It's gonna it correlates with my action here. We also we have GLB bets on the Orioles money line as well here. All right, let's roll on. We roll on to Busch Stadium, St. Louis, Missouri. Michael McGreevy, the young Michael McGreevy, going up against the vet Jamison Tyon. We're in Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri, where the Cardinals are 10 games over 500, 25-15, and the Cubs, their lead in the division is starting to shrink a little bit. We talked about the Brewers at 10-1 to win that division. Was that on Thursday?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And right now they are 6-1. So are the Cardinals. That's a big drop right now. Cubbies just minus 320 to win the division.
Huge series for that. This series.
Huge, absolutely. Let's get into the weather here to roll for Busch Stadium. 92 Fahrenheit, feels like 99. 4.5 miles per hour, right to left. Stays, right to left. We have Busch Stadium minus 11% in runs, minus 12% in homers, minus 7% doubles and triples, and even. So there are 4 stadiums that are double-digit percentage negative for runs: Citi Field, Busch Stadium, Oracle Park, and American Family Field, which will have the roof closed. So I don't really count that, but let's roll here. We have a line history for Tyon and McGreevy. We have the total at 9, minus 116 to the under. Opened up minus 109 to the under. 7 cents of movement towards the under. On the money line, we have the Cardinals at plus 101. They opened up at minus 103. So very little movement, but still there's a tightening of VIG, but maybe a couple cents move towards the Cubbies. Taking a look at the cash flow for this NL spot, we have 58% of the tickets on the Cards and 57% of cash on the Cubs. 67% of tickets on the under, but 58% cash on the over here. Be well, Sir Mackey. Jamison Tyon, 7-4, 3.84 ERA, 1.04 WHIP. Last start, 4 innings, 5 earned runs, 2 home runs, allowed 8-7 loss at home versus the Brewers. On the road, 7 starts. He's allowed 19 earned runs. Not being very good. He's allowed 10 home runs on the road. Now, he's allowed 18 home runs this year, so he gets hit hard. And it's righties that do the damage against him. 273, 835 OPS. And, not a lot of dangerous righties. Mason Wynn, Willie Contreras, Arenado, Pedro Paz. Not a lot of danger here. Maybe this is a good lineup for him. Then you have McGreevy coming off 5 innings, 1 earned run. It was a solo shot, an 8-6 win at the White Sox. Being very good in a short sample size, just 16 2/3, 15 strikeouts, 2 walks. He's only allowed 1 home run. You see why the Cards are high on this youngster. At home, he's allowed 4 earned runs over 11 2/3, 10 Ks and 1 walk. And then righties haven't been touching him at all. Righties are hitting 129 with a 375 OPS against them. It's lefties that have gotten to McGreevy. So that's Tucker, PCA, and Busch. Happ will also probably hit from the left-hand side in this one. So Cubs versus righties last 30 days, 248, 758 OPS, and the Cards versus lefties, 248, 723 OPS. The Cubs bullpens come back to earth a little bit, but still great over the last 30 days. 2.17 ERA, 1.13 WHIP, while the Cards bullpen 3.94 ERA, 1.34 WHIP. Here we go, Mr. Bouquet, Cubbies, Cards at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri.
Yeah, I'm leaning the shitbirds, as Morgan Spooner would call them in the chat. I'm leaning the Cardinals here for sure. And people in the chat have said it there. The Cardinals play better at home. Cubs, a little worse, obviously, on the road, but 25-15 Cardinals team, even money. I don't hate it. I haven't moved on it yet. Maybe just looking for a little more conviction here. Troy saying in the chat that the line movement in this range is shockingly inaccurate. I believe that was about this game. Troy, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know. I just kind of wrapping my head around betting McGreevy here, maybe, but it's Cardinals or nothing for me.
Cardinals or a nothing. Spooner says McGreevy has a Yu Darvish-sized pitch mix. It is this game, says Troy, and Justin McKelvey on Tucker over 1.5 bases a plus 115. Ronnie Lofton says tough cap passed. What does Mr. Loshak say?
Yeah, very tough. Since St. Louis got that guy back, the lefty hitter, who's a lefty hitter who just started hitting. Burleson started hitting better recently. Donovan. I have been betting St. Louis offensive props. The Cubs still a very dangerous team, and both of these starters are not starters that I want to fade. I like both of them. McGreevy, his outs prop seemed a little low to me, 15.5 over minus 105. I know that they want to get him some nice 5-inning starts and maybe get him out of there, but still, and it's a tough lineup, and it's going to be hot as hell. Interesting game. No bets that I've made, and going to totally pass on it. Free play, right? Chuck it on the under, chuck it on St. Louis as a dog.
And TJ is on the under.
Other first or under spot, it kind of cooking higher, huh?
Not for me. No, I haven't loved what I've seen from Tyon of late. I don't trust him on the road. And is McGreevy really as good as his numbers indicate? You have to think this is his toughest test. Certainly tougher than that last start with the White Sox. I don't disagree. Both bullpens have been, Cards bullpen's been pretty mediocre. I get it. I completely get it. But, TJ's expecting a stronger road start than we've seen from Jamison Tyon, which is in the cards in a divisional battle, and McGreevy to keep pitching the way he is, and that's pitching like a young stud. So I can understand it. I'm not gonna get there myself. Let's roll on to the only bet I made coming in, and I could double down on it, but I've been betting these double results a little bit more of late. I cashed the Rays double result at plus 200 with you guys on Friday, and that was part of a double down on the Rays that was huge. And I've only
had a good Friday.
Yeah, I did really strong Friday, but I carry baseball around with me. The weight of the analytics, I find it very difficult. And then when you take a couple days off, it's hard to come back and attack. But I wanted Saturday off, so I'm back in business here. I moved on the Astros double result at plus 160. I'm not sure if that should be just a double up. I'm not entirely sure what to do with the double results yet, and I'm tracking them very closely. I moved on the double result here at plus 160. We have Framber Valdez going up against Ranger Suarez. And look, both pitchers are very good. Now, 4 road starts for Ranger Suarez. He's allowed 3 earned runs. I mean, he's an excellent pitcher. He's coming off 4-2 win at the Marlins, where he allowed 1 earned run with a solo shot, 2.20 ERA, 1.06 whip on the year. He's very good. 3 home runs and 57 and a third. Lefties don't touch him. Righties 236-12. Framber Valdez has been so strong of late. He pitched very well in that bandbox in Sacramento last start, 2 earned runs over 6 innings. At home, he's allowed 12 earned runs over 7 starts. He's just very good. So what were the 2 things that I want to attack here? And no, just have to keep the lead. They don't have to win last 4. I mean, look, the plus 200, the double, having a double up like that come through, obviously it's appealing to me. They just have to win, be ahead first 5 and win the game.
I love that Troy is overstimulated in the chat right now about this game. It's given me great humor, Troy. So I wish you luck with your stimulations.
So what are the 2 outliers for me here? It's the Phillies bullpen's been really bad. And I know the Astros bullpen's had some bumps over the last little while, but 4.12 ERA, 1.16 whip compared to this Phillies bullpen, 4.69 ERA, 1.48 whip. And then the Astros are annihilating lefties, 313, 995 OPS. The Phillies aren't hitting lefties at all, 224, 661 OPS. So I may want to invest more. But I have the double result, at plus 160. We have the Astros right now are sitting at minus 148. It's just, a lot of, they opened up at minus 138. They're now minus 148, a 10-cent move towards the Astros. And then the total, I'm very interested in. It's a 7.5. It's minus 113 to the under. This opened up at 7.5, 5:43 p.m. and it dropped to 7 this morning. Came right back to 7.5. It was only at 7 for about 28 minutes. Not about, exactly 28 minutes. This line is moved slightly to the over, at the 7.5 number. 4 cents, very, very slight. So we have a 10-cent move to the Astros. We have a slight move towards the over. Spooner, we have Nasty Nate on the Astros first 5. Spooner on the Astros money line. Says Framber at home is lights out. Suarez has the most fraudulent lineups faced I've seen any pitcher get. All bottom 15 lineups except the Diamondbacks who touched them. MLG Beavis is on the first 5 under. Ron Crawford here is on the Rays. Great to see you, Ron. And let's roll here. Troy Torrance says, look at the Astros at home with a total under 8 over the past 3 years. JW says I could only be on the Phillies. And Troy saying, look at the Phillies on the road as a dog of minus 120 or more. So here we go. Take it away for us here. I don't think we touched on the cash flow, so let's just touch on that here quickly. Little interleague action. 53% of the tickets on the Phillies, 69% of the cash on the Astros. 62% of tickets on the under, 81% cash on the under. Mr. Bouquet, take it away.
Yeah, I thought this line was inflated. Maybe I obviously have a different opinion about Ranger than Spoons does, but the line was inflated to me, so it made me feel like the Astros were the spot here, kind of at the end of the day. So thinking how I could get on it, maybe I'll put in a parlay or something, but I've got nothing as a straight bet right now. But I agree, the Astros seemingly are the side.
Yeah, maybe I don't need to add to it, but Troy Torrance being bullish makes me think I should probably add a -1. But the thinking here with the double result from a gambling perspective is, if it doesn't cash the double result, I can move on them live if I want, instead of already being stuck on a -1. Peter, take it away.
I did not bet this one. I did note that the strikeout props were a little lower than I would have expected, and the hits props were a little higher than I would have expected, but I didn't pull the trigger on any of them. I think Sharpie might be right, and I didn't take first 3 under because it was 1.5. But I do, in general, like unders here. Probably first 7 is the best. Definitely like in full game under as well, though. Didn't bet it. Probably will miss a move and probably will pass on this one. But, yeah. Who are they saying is the fraudulent guy? Fraudulent starter?
Well, they're saying the lineups he's faced are the weakest, and that is Ranger Suarez.
Ranger Suarez, right.
Redbeard says game of the night in his opinion. I agree. This is going to be a very, very fun baseball game. So I guess when it's talked out, I don't see why. Unfortunately, this is probably going to be something I'm going to be doing more moving forward, which will affect my year record probably a little bit negatively. But I don't care really. I mean, obviously you need to have a decent record so that people will listen to what you have to say, but it's really about making money. And if this is the situation, you're on the double result. If it loses the double result, then you can move live. But I don't know why I would necessarily add a -1 to a double result if I'm getting these plus spots, like plus 160 here. I got the plus 200 on the Rays on Friday. So it's still a work in progress here. Troy Torrance says, I recommend taking the Phillies team total under in some way, shape, or form. That'd be a way to double.
I am on officially the Toronto Blue Jays Astros parlay plus 299 or 199, excuse me.
All right. Let's roll. Mark Tequila saying, I'd be careful heavily weighting the Phillies bullpen unless you believe it will be a close game, in which, in this case, is fair. They get the most length out of their starters in the sport. Okay, well, I'm already on the double result. I still see live betting as such an asset where it doesn't make sense to me to double up. Rather, if I lose that first 5, I'll move live. The only problem is if it's tied after the first 5, which then would require the bet. And if I time it right, I can probably get, a better line than what is being offered pregame. So there we go.
Yeah, especially if you bet the -1.
Which I'm not going. No, you mean after if it's tied after 5?
Yeah, if you bet a -1, you'll get a ridiculous price on that, especially.
Yeah, I don't think I'd do that. think I'd prefer just to take the money line at that point, but I hear what you're saying. All right, let's roll on. Head to Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. As you can imagine, the most offensive expectations for any park here. And we do not know who is starting. Do we think it's Robleski?
Allegedly, yeah.
That is who we think. But that means if the books are still not putting him down there, that a starter, an opener, he'll have an opener here. Let's just see if the books have listed him yet. And they have not. So, look, I hope you guys have been cashing on Senzatella. I feel the same way about Marquez. And that last start with Marquez was trash. I pushed the first 3 and first 5, which was very, very upsetting. But these pitchers are just better than their numbers indicate. Von Polo looking at an under here. Herman Marquez 3 and 6, 6.11 ERA, 1.64 WHIP. Allowed 7 home runs over 73 and 2/3. Coming off not allowing a run over 5 and 2/3 at the Nationals. You know what? Home, his numbers are starting to improve. It's going to take a while, obviously, from that horrific start. Dodgers versus righties last 30 days, 265, 815 OPS. Rockies are starting to hit righties, 243, 736. Rockies bullpen just slightly, very, very slightly worse than the Dodgers. Both bullpens have been bad. So that is where we stand. Let's talk about the weather here in Coors Field. We have 74 Fahrenheit, feels like 71, 8 miles per hour right to left. Then it goes out. Then it blows out. After an hour, it blows straight out. Possible light rain earlier. Then we have from Ballpark Pal gives Coors Field plus 15% home runs, plus 20% doubles and triples, and plus 6% singles. Line history here from a total perspective, we have a 12, minus 108 to the over. This opened up at 11.5, moved to 12. So pretty legit move to that over. On the money line, we have the LA Dodgers at minus 256. They opened up at minus 240. This was at 9 this morning. There was no movement until 9:52 a.m. and there was a 19-cent move to the Dodgers, big one. And at that point, it's come back a little bit, but still 16 cents of move, a 16-cent move towards the LA Dodgers. And when we take a look at the cash flow for this one, there's no information. So here we go, Mr. Bouquet, take it away.
There we go. I ended up staying off the game, obviously, because I didn't have a pitcher, and it's a super juiced high Dodgers price. But I could see why you want first 3 unders or unders in this game early with Harmon pitching well or better, I should say, and the Rockies being the Rockies. But I had no action in this game. We can pass it along to Pedro, who I know is going to say there was no pitchers, so I didn't capture this game.
Wow,
Pete.
Yeah, pass for me. Marquez is, obviously very hittable and also can be surprisingly good, shutting down a powerful lineup at Coors somewhat unexpectedly. So as of right now, total pass.
We have a pass there. The problem with the first 3 under is just that the lines move from 11.5 to 12. I want, pedestrian numbers in the line, either the total not moving or moving towards the under. So that takes that away from me. The only thing I can do is back the Rockies first 3 plus a half, which I'm interested in doing. So that's the only option I have right now. Taking a quick look at not the only option, obviously, but what I would prefer. The first 3 plus a half is expensive. It's not plus a half minus 105. I'm interested in it. First 3 plus a half. I'm going to spend a little bit more time on it, but Marquez is pitching very well right now. So Troy, it wouldn't be necessarily a first 3 because the under 3.5 is plus 120. So you wouldn't need to do the first 3. You get that first 3.5. All right. So yeah, I'm interested in Colorado first 3 plus half. It probably won't be a move I make right after the show's over. A True Teller expecting Robleski is pitching. If the books don't announce it, Then there's probably an opener truth teller for Robleski because he's not on any of the books. But we expect Robleski to at least be the primary. We'll see how that bangs out. Let's move on to Mr. Bouquet's Boston Red Sox here. Boston Red Sox 40-40, 18-23 on the road at the LA Angels, 38-40, 17-18 at home. We are at Angel Stadium in Anaheim, California, and a couple lefties on the hill, Garrett Crochet and Tyler Anderson. Let's get into the weather here to get us started, then the line history, and then talk or hear from Jose what he thinks about Crochet on the hill here. And the Red Sox, after a pretty emotional series in San Francisco, 72 Fahrenheit, feels like 70 in LA tonight, 8.9 miles per hour out to right center. Dies down at 7.2 miles per hour. So Angel Stadium is even. Plus 8% home runs, minus 6% doubles and triples, minus 3% singles. AM says, wow, Angels -1. Books begging for Red Sox money again. Crochet 7-4, 2.2 ERA, 1.03 WHIP. Just 65 strikeouts in 102 in a third. Are you surprised by the lack of strikeouts that Crochet's been getting this year, Jose?
A little bit, yes.
15 home runs allowed this season. Coming off a 3-1 win at the Mariners, 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run, 8 Ks, no walks. I mean, that's the type of stuff we're expecting that we haven't quite been seeing. On the road, he's been excellent. Allowed 15 earned runs in 60 innings. Allowed just 43 hits in 60 innings. He's been very good. Tyler Anderson on the other side has not been quite as good. Coming off a 7-3 win it must have been a 7-3 loss at the Yankees. Sorry. Allowed 4 earned runs over 6 innings. And he has been very good at home. Just 12 earned runs allowed in 39 in a third. His reverse splits are wild. 1,000 OPS lefties are hitting off him. Righties 231, 697 OPS. Red Sox versus lefties 271, 798 OPS last 30 days. Angels just 220 with a 666 OPS. And both bullpens have been very good. Red Sox bullpen last 30 days, 2.99 ERA, 1.22 WHIP, while the Angels bullpen, 2.99 ERA, 1.19 WHIP. Spooner is on the over 7.5 at -120. That's what he has on his card. Let's take a look at the line history. We have Gorky saying Red Sox may as well play in the minor league. Wow. And let's take a look at the line history here. We have the Angels at +146. They opened up +167. I mean, that's a big move towards the Angels. A move that very, very, very legitimate move towards the LA Angels. From a total standpoint here, we have an 8. It's -112 to the under. This opened up at 8 at 5:39 p.m. At 8:48 p.m., it went down to 7.5. And it lasted there for 3.5 hours. And now we're back at 8. Overall, I guess we've had no movement overall. And when we get to Chris Mack saying crocheted 125 Ks in 102 innings last year. That's absolutely wild compared to what he's doing this year. Chris Mack, thank you for that stat. And it was cool when you got that gifted membership that you gave one back right away. That was very, very cool. Recognize Chris Mack. Thank you. So here we go. Let's hear from. Oh, wait, sorry, I didn't go into the money line. Let's just grab the money. Oh, we did that money line, and the total is an 8. We've done that. And then cash flow wise here, before we hear from Mr. Bouquet, we have 61% of tickets, 72% of cash on the Red Sox, 50% of tickets on the under, and 57% of cash on that very under. Mr. Bouquet, take it away.
Yeah, I mean, this is one that sucks, but it's a spot that I have to bet. If it was any other team, I'd be betting it head over heels, excited to do it. But I'm on the Los Angeles Angels here tonight. Full game money line. Jimmy, you read out the market. It opened up. It's like -180. We're down to -160. There's more bets and money on the Red Sox. A classic. The book is just, or books are opening their arms. Come bet the Red Sox. Keep betting the Red Sox. We'll make the Red Sox cheaper. You guys have heard this spiel thousands of times, hopefully by now. But yeah, it's Angels for me, full game.
And look at that. Taint play of the day is the Red Sox on the run line.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Boston double result. Says the Angels don't hit lefties. Boston smash lefties. Crochet on the road has been very, very good. Wow. Look at that. No fear with the market moving against them. Our guy, Matty Ice. TJ also on the Red Sox -1. Oh, that's this year. Why did I have 60? Oh, did I do that wrong? Did I have that? Why would? Okay, sorry. Let me take a look. My bad. Sorry, I must have wrote that in wrong again. I do all these stats by hand. Peter, take it away. Oh, you're absolutely right. My bad. I don't know why I wrote. Oh, because Jesus, I put in Tyler Anderson's Ks.
I was wondering why I was so low.
Yeah, no, I put in Tyler Anderson's 65 strikeouts.
But I blindly trust you. But yeah, Pete, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, obviously at first glance, you'd be thinking, Boston, a team with a big trade, and they've been losing. They got some young guys, some life to them. Now their legit stud starter comes in, and brainer take him. Maybe Matty Ice is right. The only bet that I've made so far, and Anderson scares me a little bit. I did yesterday. I hit a whole bunch of player props. All of them hit except for one of my co-biggest ones was Shanuel. That one lost, but everyone else cashed. And I'm going to take our young guy, rookie guy, Anthony, 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs at a very low line, just minus 115 or so. I bet that one. I'll take it. And then, the rest of the game, I don't know. You got to be thinking maybe Boston race to 2, race to 3 or something. I know that Anderson is a sort of deceptively not shitty guy, especially at home. You look at him overall, you're like, this guy is average at best. But that's not really the case. Crochet, awesome. But that doesn't mean that he's a good bet as a massive favorite. Line moved in the Angels' direction. Very interesting game. Very interesting game. I will make the Anthony hits, runs, and RBIs prop 1.5 official, though. I'll make that one official.
Roman Anthony looks like a young Peter Loshak.
I consider that a compliment. I understand that some people would consider that an insult, and we'll agree to disagree.
Mr. McKelvey, you're on the corner of Loshak and Stacks Boulevard. He's also on Anthony, but RBI at plus 195.
Yeah. Maybe I'll double up like I did with,
I mean, I look at what Tyler Anderson's done in his last 4 starts. I mean, it's hard to, so 20 innings and he's allowed 18 earned runs. One of those starts was a home start against the Mariners. He allowed 3 earned runs over 4 2/3, but they're saying that he's going to pitch really well here. Matty Ice says, I love backing aces on team losing streaks. Love it, love it, love it.
I think Crochet pitches really well, and the Red Sox lose a 2-0 ball game because their offense doesn't show up.
TJ says,
wow, you think Anderson's going to be that good?
I do, yeah. And shout out to Wine Time reminding us of Tyler Anderson having the beef with the Red Sox the other day and the first base coach. So maybe he'll come out here and pitch with some hate in his heart. Red Sox do smash lefties. They've been using a platoon to smash lefties as well. But it's just this market move is one I would bet every single time if it was every other team. And the fact that it opens up at minus 180, there's a shitload of bets and money on the Red Sox. And if you want me to be specific about a shitload, I will say that there is 61% of the bets, 72% of the money on the Boston Red Sox here. And we've come down. So I don't love betting this. I don't love betting against Garrett Crochet. I think he pitches well. I'm shocked that it's going down when the Red Sox again smash lefties. But here's the thing, it's Romy Gonzalez and Abraham Toro going to be in this lineup. It's not going to be Marcelo Meyer, Campbell, and then Anthony, So it's going to be fascinating to see what happens. But I just don't know how well that platoon is going to keep hitting against lefties.
Well, okay, I'm going to need more time. I mean, if you look at Swish, you think it's very offensive weather, but Ballpark Pal telling us that's not the case.
Yeah, I considered moving on the under here. That was my other thing I was thinking about. Am I going to double up here? I think this is first 3 under territory, but I don't know them as well as you do, Jimmy. I would consider betting first 5 if they weren't for the devil. And the full game market's just not really moving enough for me. I wouldn't be surprised if this ended up at a 7.5, but this market hasn't moved yet. So I just think both guys pitch really well.
The bullpen's been excellent from both squads. I don't know.
No Kenley for the Angels. He got hurt last night, so that's a good thing to remember. Zephyr John threw last night as well.
Okay, that's important. Okay, well, the Angels interest me, and the first 3 under interests me very much. Jose has moved on the Angels. Wine Time says Jansen had cramping and is fine.
Okay, good. Even better for us then.
Hmm.
He's such a big pussy. Wine Time. Oh my god, that pissed me off. He threw 4 pitches and just stood on the mound for like a minute and then didn't try any warm up pitches. Like, I'm out. Fuck this. Also, Wine Time. You know why he came out of the game? There's like 4 runs. I don't think it was a safe situation. So why the fuck is he doesn't go fuck. So I'm not surprised with that either.
All right. Let's roll on. That's a really interesting baseball game. We're going to do a once over before we get into WNBA. Let's roll on. Next up, 9:40 p.m. Eastern, the Washington Nationals 33-46, 17-22 on the road at the San Diego Padres 42-36, 23-14, a homer at Petco Park, San Diego, California. Let's get into the weather here in San Diego. 67 Fahrenheit, feels like 65, 8 miles per hour left to right, slightly in, dies down at 5.4 miles per hour. Let's get into Ballpark Pals' thoughts on this stadium. Petco -7% overall, -8% homers, -6% doubles and triples, and -3% singles. Trevor Williams and Ryan Bergert. Trevor Williams has just finished 4 straight home starts. And
no.
he's someone who loves that. Over his career, when he gets into that rhythm of the home starts, and we saw it. The last 2 starts were quite strong. Both 5 1/3. The last start was 5 1/3, 8 hits, 2 earned runs, 6 Ks, 1 walk. Yeah, it was against a weak Rockies team. But now he goes out on the road where he has struggled. Opponents hitting .304 against him. He's allowed 38 hits over 30 1/3, 17 earned runs. But righties don't hit him. Righties are under control, 213, 528 OPS. It's lefties that destroy him, 365 with a 976 OPS. And that's Merrill, Arise, Sheets, Cronenworth, and Brooks. I do not know how Tatis is going to get out of that $34 million that he owes. I don't know.
That's
how.
a very common thing in many I was gonna say Venezuela, many Hispanic Latin American countries. That is something that's done so much. So I hope he does win that case.
But it doesn't usually happen when your dad's a major leaguer.
No, it does not. No. Do you think fucking Vladdy's making that deal? No.
It's he. I'm sure they're going to settle out of court.
Probably,
but
yeah.
But he's an idiot. We know that.
Yes.
And he made a dumb decision. And I don't understand why people can just get off of these dumb decisions. Your dad was a Major League Baseball player. What's your excuse? What's your fucking? There's no fucking excuse. Whatever. I have no.
Yeah. I hope he wins his case for the fucking little guys out there that fucking have this done to them. But yeah, I doubt it.
So we have Trevor Williams finishing 4 straight starts. Lefties are smashing him. Going up against Bergert. Now, we've only seen Bergert for 24 innings, but he's been very good. Last start, 4 2/3, 3 hits, no earned runs allowed, and a 5-3 win at Chavez Ravine. The interesting thing about Bergert is of the 24 innings he has pitched this year, just 1 has come at home.
Wow.
What does that mean? And so TJ's on the over. So right off the hop, I think they're both vulnerable. Despite what Bergert's numbers say, we've not seen him pitch at home. Justin McKelvey on the Padres over 4.5 here. Nats versus righties the last 30 days, 239, 691 OPS. Padres similar weak numbers, 250, 705. We have a Cheshire Cat saying rest in peace to our friend Teese, Parlay Teese, being shouted out by our friend Cheshire Cat.
WNBA only 2 games away.
Yes, and we have 4 games to attack here. The Nats bullpen's been a real problem. 5.36 ERA, 1.43 whip. Padres bullpen 3.29 ERA, 1.32 whip. AM says Padres -1, books wanting all the Nationals risk they can take. Let's take a look at that situation here. So line history, we'll start with the total. This is an 8.5 -107 to the under. This opened up at 9 and has moved to 8.5. So that goes against Seems like the market is inviting overaction, but that doesn't scare TJ, which I respect very much. This line is the Padres opening up minus 157. They're now minus 161. 4 cents of movement towards the San Diego Padres. And when we get to the cash flow here for the spot, we have 80% of the tickets on the Padres and 76% of the cash on the Nationals. That's a bit of a surprise. 58% of the tickets on the under, but 87% of cash on the over. Even that is a surprise. Spooner says, I dug into Burgert's minor league stats. I think he struggles with lefties. I think this lineup will score runs versus him. I mean, he's had a small sample size versus lefties thus far and shut them down. Matty Ice says Burgett's first home start just came off a great start versus Dodgers. Now you got one of the worst teams in the Nats versus Friday's official play. San Diego first 5 minus a half. We got Mr. McKelvey on Wood over 1.5 bases plus 125. Take it away for us here, Mr. Bouquet, Trevor Williams, Ryan Burgert, Nationals, Padres.
Yep, Padres are nothing for me, but I'm off this game. I think I've got enough action today, and maybe you can parlay Padres and Astros together, be a nice little thing, but no action here for me.
Here we go. Peter Loshak, your plan for this one.
Yeah, I'm not going to overthink it. Bet a bunch of props, and I think I'm going to take to start. I'm going to take Sheets to get a hit. Sheets hits, runs, and RBIs, and Jackson Merrill over 1.5 total bases. Maybe add in Arias there as well. Yeah, don't really like the spot for Trevor Williams. You know, fly ball pitcher helps him out a little bit here, but he always gives up a few. And liking those props.
All right, I like TJ's look on the over. I'm surprised it's moved to 8.5. I don't want. I mean. We're not going to act as if Ryan Burgert's some very highly thought of prospect. Should we? Because of what he's done in these 24 innings?
I do not. No, I think he's Trevor Williams light, probably.
Oh, he's not going to have a career like the great Trevor Williams.
Yeah, you're probably right. He'd be lucky to have one, yeah.
We have in El Paso, he made 9 starts, 36 innings, pitched quite well. Last year, you know, he went from the fall league to AA, spent the year at AA, 23 starts. I mean, I guess I'm going to need more time on the spot here. I wish I could just move on the over. Matty I says Nats, weighted runs created plus. First righties, one of the worst in baseball. And the Padres bullpen's better again. Okay, let's move on. Here, I'm going to need more time on that spot. I am saying 76% money on the Nats is a big dog. Books not budging line, inviting all the money to keep coming in. I get it. I hear. I'd be very curious to see where that ends up, though. But I hear the look. Let's move on to our final spot on the board here. Jermaine giving Mr. Loshak love on his.
Let's go to Port Dope.
Yes, this is the game I want to talk about. I almost came with action on it, but decided that the more time the market had, the better. I have the better pitcher on the mound here in Cal Quantrill. We have the Giants at minus 165, and they opened up minus 179. I still can't get over not moving on that Logan Allen start. That was the first 3 and first 5 that I cut. I ended up cutting 3 bets that I was close to making. I cut 3, and 2 of them cashed at plus money, and very irritating. Verlander went 4 2/3, 7 hits, 4 runs, 3 of which were in 1 homer, 6 Ks, 1 walk, and a 4-2 loss at home versus the Guardians. Cal Quantrill has just been printing money for me. It's just crazy. Port Dope's Cal Quantrill. 5.68 ERA, 1.47 whip. Look, he's been bad. On the road, he started 7 games, allowed 22 earned runs and 30 1/3. Righties are annihilating him. Righties are hitting 375 with a 1.061 OPS. And who are the righties that I'm supposed to be concerned about in this lineup? Ramos, sure. Adames, okay. Schmidt. Bailey will hit from the right side. And 0, basically. And Verlander on the other side splits are regular. He's getting hit from by both sides. He's in this pitcher's park that's so helpful, and he's still getting hit. 18 earned runs and 7 starts. He went to the IL. He's come back, and he had that 1 start. Now he's got consecutive home starts, which I imagine will help him. The Marlins have no power against righties, 261, 688 OPS. The Giants are not hitting for average and not hitting for power, 227, 673 OPS. And both bullpens have been quite good. Last 30 days, Marlins bullpen 3.51 ERA, 1.15 whip, and the Giants bullpen 2.66 ERA, 1.19 whip. We get to the weather here in San Francisco. I was so close to already being on the Marlins first 3 in the first 3 under. And I know I've just said a bunch of negative stuff about Verlander, but second straight start at home off of the IL. Shouldn't he be able to get around this Marlins team in the pitcher's ballpark? 56 Fahrenheit, feels like 51, 11.6 miles per hour to left center, dies down to 9.8 miles per hour. We get to the ballpark, pal. They have Oracle minus 12% overall, minus 31% home runs, minus 7% doubles and triples, plus 7% singles. I mean, all of this is setting up for, both pitchers to be okay. We've had to move to the Marlins, so it shows that, they're live here. From a total perspective, we have an 8. It's minus 110 to the over. Now, the place where we used to play poker at, and the monthly poker games are in the works right now. Again, we won't be able to talk about them here. But where we used to play poker, they opened this at 7.5. So if you look at their line movement, then you'd say, well, this is a clear move towards the over. They opened it up at 7.5, minus 110 at 2:36 p.m. 10 minutes later, there's a 15-cent move to the over. And then at 5:43 p.m., it was an 8. So it's a half-run move, very legitimate there. But if you look at it, from books that came out after that move, now I should still respect the move, but the offshore that we use, they opened the over at 8, minus 106. Now it's 8, minus 110. So just 4 cents of movement there. And then when we get to the cash flow for this spot, we have 66% of the tickets on the Giants, but 63% of the cash on Miami, 66% of the tickets and 75% of the cash on the over. It doesn't seem like the books are too concerned about that. So here we go. Shout out to Robert McCormick in the house. Take it away, Mr. Bouquet. Our final spot in MLB on the board, the Giants hosting the Marlins.
Yeah, there's not going to be any action for me on this game, but gun to head, I would take the over in this game. 8's just a small number. I don't really believe in Verlander, but the thing that I really would like, my number one bet that I would take if I wasn't, if I was devoid of action or whatever, is Devers over 1.5 bases, whatever Devers prop you like, RBI hits, runs, RBIs, whatever it is. People in the chat already mentioned how his numbers against Cal Quantrill, 6 for 11, crushes him, but there's a special hate in his heart for Cal Quantrill from years ago, talking shit to him. I think he was still in the Guardians back then, but talked shit to him, and Rafael Devers didn't like that. And I'm sure he remembers that. Cal Quantrill also famously last year told Reese McGuire to go jack off in his car against the Red Sox. So I just think that Rafael Devers knows that Cal Quantrill is one of those fiery guys and doesn't like him. So if I had to pick anything, it'd be Devers bases, but no thank you. I don't really bet those often, so I stayed off.
Mr. Loshak, your plan of attack.
This one I didn't have time to really look into too deeply. It also makes me a little bit nervous, the whole situation. So pass for me, complete pass.
The first 3's been sitting at 2.5, which is a pretty high at a pick'em for an 8. Pretty high. But I think the Marlins are live here, and I kind of like the full game under. I want to see how much money goes on to this total before I move on it. And I guess I don't need to move on the first 3 under necessarily. I was trying so hard not to triple up on these spots, but here it'd be Marlins first 3, the first 3 under, and the full game under. But if this was a 7.5, the move to 8 at other, I mean, what? How do you see this, Jose? That first line that came with limits that changes in 10 minutes to an 8, where it stays for 18 hours. How do you read the line, Jose?
It's interesting. I don't, with the limits, it gives me a little more pause that opener. I tend to believe it's closer to the 8 that what Penny had. And I know that where we used to play poker had it at that 7.5, but we call Penny the sharpest book in the land for a reason. If they open up at 8, I tend to believe they're 8 more than the opening up at 7.5 going up. Obviously there's a lot of time in this between this game, so who knows? Maybe this goes up to an 8.5. But if it stays at an 8, I probably still lean over personally. I think easily Verlander can give up 4 runs. Kyle Quantrill gives up 3, and bullpen can give up more.
All right. I'm going to wait for the market to materialize, but I'm going to have the first 3, on the Marlins. That is a bet I'm going to make. IAM says nothing from here. Books respecting the Marlins money somewhat and the over. I don't know if they're respecting the over enough for me. All right, let's do a review of all Major League Baseball action before we get into the WNBA here. So let's review action. Stacks play day number 1, Seattle, Minnesota, over 8.5, going up against Wine Time, who's on the under. And he's Stacks play day number 2, Brewers, team total over 4.5, even money. Pig Milk play today is Texas, Baltimore, under 9.5 here. We have Spooner on the Astros money line, Cardinals money line, Rays money line, Red Sox, and Angels over 7.5. Okay. Then we have Big Daddy Boom, Cubbies money line for 2 units, and the Mets money line for 2 units. His 3-team parlay: Yankees, Cubs, Mets. 9 legacies on the Reds, Guardians, White Sox. The White Sox's first 5. Kong's Clips best bet. We have the best bet from Kong's Clips. He's been hitting these player props with a very high ROI. Our guy Kong's Clips is on Peralta over 6.5 strikeouts, minus 125. Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play of the day is the Boston Red Sox on the -1 line. Shout out to our guy, Ronnie Crawford. So I've got to study more, go over everything again. But this is my plan of attack. The only bet I've already made is the Astros double result of plus 160, which I'm not going to add to. And I'm going to start betting them more. Again, like I said, it's probably going to affect my overall record. But if they're tied at the half, I'll live bet them. And if they're losing after 5, I'll live bet them. And it just, I expect my ROI to be much higher in this way, that rather than taking the double result and the -1. So that's going to be the plan, and we'll see how that bangs out as we move forward. But I want the Orioles early, whether that's first 3 or first 5. I'm backing the old Charlie Trembolone Morton. We have T-Moss on parlay, Brewers money line, Diamondbacks money line, Suarez 4 or more strikeouts. Then I'm going to stay away from this A's-Tigers game. Although I really did have interest in the A's first 3 plus a half, I think I just let that go. We have Sharpie is on the first 7 under 5.5 in Philadelphia, Houston. Dougie Wise, free bands play today is the Tigers -1. And Justin McKelvey on the Blue Jays team total over 4.5. I'm going to join you guys on the Jays. I just want to study it a little more. It wasn't part of my initial plan. We have Strider under 6.5 Ks for Sharpie. Robert Cherry on Orioles, Yankees, Mets, Royals, White Sox, Twins, Brewers, Cubs, and Astros today. Mr. McKelvey's also on Olsen and Acuna over 1.5 bases. AM's on the Mets -1. DC Capper's on the Braves. And I'm going to study the Braves-Mets game a little more. I also have some interest in the over in the Yankees-Reds game. I know it's already moved a half run, but I am interested in it. Then we have here from Matty Ice. He's also on Oakland, Detroit under 7.5, but he's also on Scooball over 1.5 earned runs. So that's very, very interesting. So then I don't have much move until the Twins. I'm not sure if it's a first 3 or first 5 spot on Chris Paddock. I'm going to have to study it a little bit more. Then the other triple up spot for me would be the Rays, the first 3 under and the full game under. And I'm going to study that longer. Then I've already moved on that double result for the Astros. I leave that there. I have interest in Colorado first 3 plus a half. I'm going to bet it. More than interest. And then the other triple up would be the Angels money line, the first 3 under and the full game under. Could I just get off the Angels money line? Probably, because I see so many cappers that I respect on the other side, and I know Jose's on the Angels. But if it's that, maybe I just don't focus on the first 3 under and the full game under. That's going to take more work. And then the triple up spot here, I got to figure out if I want 3. And it's that Miami Giants game we just talked about being Marlins first 3 under and the full game under. Jose Bouquet, please review your MLB action for Tuesday, June 24th.
Yeah, I'm on Toronto money line minus 123. The White Sox plus 113. Tampa Bay, Kansas City Royals under 8.5 minus 110. Houston, Toronto parlay plus 199. The LA Angels money line plus 148 rounds out my card. And like I said, if I had to, a lovely game I like to play with myself. I had to put $2,000 on one of my bets. Which one would I put it on? Today would be the White Sox. So.
Wow.
We'll see if I win with my hypothetical 4,000 whatever my dollars I win.
Let's see that as well, Mr. Bouquet. And then you'll be back rocking with us here to close out the show. So thank you for your baseball breakdowns, Jose, and we will see you in a little bit, my friend.
Yes, Pete, before I go, are we going to get this background next week or are we going to get something different?
Whatever will boost ratings, that's what I'm going to do.
Okay. All right. I like to hear that.
Mr. Loshak, take it away, your MLB action for Tuesday, June 24th.
All right. Hopefully we can have a nice day here and get even overall. Got a lot of plays here. Laureano, 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, minus 120. And Latz, under 4.5 strikeouts, plus 125. These are all the odds I shopped around during the video. And then the Toronto game, I'm taking it. First 5, minus 125. Then I'm going to take Clement, 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, minus 142. Bichette, 2.5 at plus 105. And Guerrero, 2.5 at plus 115. And in the Mets game, I'm not a believer in Montas, so I'm going to take under 4.5 strikeouts, minus 155. And I also like Olsen, 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, minus 135. I probably should have found a second Olsen prop for that one. And I guess I'm going to add in Austin Riley, 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, minus 150, although I don't really love it, but I wanted to add something. The second one to fade Montas. And then 2 others that make me nervous, but I'm going to take it. You know, the Braves pitcher is good, but Lindor, 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, minus 125. That's low. And Brandon Nimmo, 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, just minus 110. Then going up against Rodon, De La Cruz, 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, minus 117. People liking the White Sox, and I don't necessarily disagree with that, but I am going to take Nelson under 4.5 hits, minus 105. And in the Brewers game, Christian Yelich over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, minus 135. Suspiciously low, but I'll take it anyway. Then the Minnesota game, Larnach, 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, even money, and an RBI at plus 205. Taking both of those. And then Brooks Lee, 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, minus 122. I hope he's not batting last, or if he is, whatever. I usually like to check the lineups for stuff like that, but I'll give it now anyway. Going out on a limb, Bubich over 5.5 strikeouts, minus 101. And then in the very interesting Boston game, I will take our guy Anthony, the rookie, over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, minus 115. And then in the Padres game, Sheets, RBI, plus 170. Sheets, hits, runs, RBIs, 1.5, minus 115. And maybe one of the best props of the day, I think, Merrill over 1.5 total bases, minus 136.
Excellent work, Peter Loshak, my friend. It is time to talk WNBA. We have 4 games on tap for us to attack. So let's get started. Why don't you set us up for Minnesota Lynx, Washington Mystics?
All right. Well, Minnesota obviously rolling, right? Covered 5 of 6, all as a big favorite. So they can get it done. They're another big road favorite here against Washington. They clinched their spot in the Commissioner's Cup final. That comes in a week. And so in between then, they've got, this game here at Washington. Is it a down spot for Minnesota? Possibly. I don't know. They're a legitimately awesome team. And then you got Washington, which is a young team, with some fight to them. They are coming off of an overtime win over Dallas. So you got the Mystics at home getting a bunch of points, young players with some life to them against a legitimately awesome team that probably won't be overlooking this, but might be. I don't know. I guess I would be leaning. I don't know what I'd be leaning. And then, of course, as you said, Nafisa Collier might be out for Minnesota.
Clearly out because
right.
at 1:18 p.m. there was a
there you
2.5 point move towards the Mystics.
Right, because it was earlier. It was 6, and
this got up to 10.5.
Right,
and now it's a 7.
And
so
now the total exploded 10 points. Wow, 159 to 169. Holy crap!
Wow. Well, she's the defensive player of the year. Mr. Belvedere saying Collier ruled out. So excellent job taking the 9.5. It's frustrating. Mr. Justin McCalvey getting that 9.5. I could have got that, and but I was watching it move towards Minnesota, and I was like, you know what? Let's just wait. And because I felt like the books were, intimating that their Collier would be in the lineup. Now we have a 6.5 at some books. Very, very frustrating here. And maybe it should just be a stay off. So without, Collier patrolling the paint, we have a 158.5. I don't have the move that you have, the 10-point move here.
The first line I saw was like 160.
Oh, 160 flat. Okay, so just a couple point move to the under.
Oh, but now am I not? Oh, right. Sorry, that was a different game I just saw. Sorry.
No worries.
Yeah, I missed. Right.
AM says if this market holds up, I'll be on the Mystics +7. I mean, I'm going to have to deal with my anger of not moving on the 9.5 or 10 and 10.5, and it's pretty frustrating here. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this one. We have 53% of tickets, 55% of cash on Minnesota, 84% of tickets, 85% cash on the under. The Lynx coming off sweeping their 3-game homestand, culminating in an 82-66 win over the Sparks on Saturday. And Collier wasn't in the lineup for that game. So that's the game, where the team steps up without their leader and star, the favorite for MVP. They step up in their game at home, and then they go on the road, and you probably see that they're not, that they just don't have it. Kayla McBride went for 29. Put 15 in the fourth. Courtney Williams had 18. And again, no Nafisa Collier, Defensive Player of the Year last year. The Lynx are also shooting so well from the perimeter and defending the perimeter, shooting 37.9 from 3, allowing just 29.8% from 3. Mystics come in off that 91-88 overtime victory here in Washington over Dallas on Sunday. This is a really young team, as Peter was talking about, stepping up. Sonia Citron, 27, the season high 27, hit that 3 with 12 seconds left in overtime. 9 of 13 from the field, 11 boards. Shakira Austin added 21. And then you have Sykes, who leads the team in scoring. And they head to Vegas tomorrow. They start a 3-game road trip on Thursday in Vegas. I mean, I guess I can take the 7 now. I probably should. I mean, what I wanted the information on Nafisa Collier, and now I've got it. I don't know why I need to be so angry that I don't have a 9.5 here. And so I guess it'll be the Mystics +7, and I need to bet it as soon as possible. But you're letting the market kind of indicate whether the player is going to be in. This went from 9.5 to 10.5, so I thought, okay, Collier's in. I just wanted that information. I probably should have just moved and hoped that she was out, but then it did move another point. That's it is what it is. Let's roll on, Peter. Anything you want to make?
Yeah, I'll take a little prop here. Brittany Sykes over 4.5 assists +115. Take a shot with that.
Brittany Sykes over 4.5 assists at +115 for Peter.
I'll shop around, see if I can get even better, but for now, I'll take that for sure.
All right, let's roll on. But Wager Detective says fade the Mystics, fade the injury report. I mean, don't you think that was a game late? Oh, and Sykes wasn't at shoot around.
Oh, wait, today?
Wow.
Is that today?
Yeah.
Does that mean she's injured or something? Or that's not good.
Wow.
Wait, why would she not be at? Maybe is she out though? Wouldn't she be announced out?
She is now questionable with a lower leg issue.
Oh, then I didn't bet it. There's no way I'm going to take that. Sorry about that.
Wow, that's crucial. Wow, so I'm not going to move on the Mystics. Let's find out if Sykes is not in. Wow, extremely interesting. Okay, so Peak and thank you, Mr. Belvedere.
Yes, thank you very much.
Mystics +7 will be a wait for sure. Okay, let's roll. But Justin, I hear you, but I think even if they announce Sykes out with all these young players, then I'll move on. I might still move on it. I'll have to study a little more. But you got a great number, and I would just obviously hope that she's in. Let's roll on. Next up, we have Sparks Sky. Peter, you want to set us up?
Sure. LA got smoked 3 games in a row, 2 of them to Minnesota, all as a big dog. Got beat down, didn't really come close to covering any of them. Chicago mostly sucks. They can get a cover here and there, though. And I was thinking maybe it's a high total, like 164.5 or so is what I first saw. I was thinking over. I didn't even check to see.
Wow, 167.5 now, Pete.
There you go. All right, yeah. So I was leaning over on that one. Yeah, that's the only way I would take a game like this. They're both going to come out here. Not that they're not going to try to get a win, but they're not going to be D'ing it up too hard here. Yeah, I would still be. I'm seeing 166.5.
Yeah, it's come down now. It got up to 168.5. So it's
that's
on the way
I'd
down.
be leaning.
All right, interesting here. And AM says over smash 83% of money and total says wow. So let's so that's now 166.5. It's dropping slightly. If you want the over, you might want to see if it drops a little bit more. We also have Chicago +5 -108. They opened up +4.5. This got up to 6. Got up to +6, but now we have a +5. So still a half-point move towards the Sparks. We take a look at the cash flow here. We have 67% of tickets and 83% cash on the under, and yet climbing. Well, dropping now, but still much higher than the opening line. 57% of the tickets on Chicago and 50% of the cash on Chicago. Both teams come in on 3-game losing streaks. The Sparks coming off their third straight loss, 82-66 at the Lynx on Saturday. Kelsey Plum, scored 15 points. The Sparks had a lead at halftime, 35-34. Hamby went for 13. Azura Stevens went for 11 points, 9 boards. Sky coming off a 93-80 loss at Atlanta on Sunday. Angel Reese, 10 points, 19 rebounds, and 4 assists. 3 steals as well. She finished with 9 points and 2 boards against the Phoenix Mercury in that 107-86 loss. Ariel Atkins went for a season high 29. Elizabeth Williams went for 16. Here is the issue here, and this is what for your X's knows. Camila Cardoso leaves after this game to join Brazil's national team in the AmeriCup. But the issue is that it's unclear how many minutes she's going to play. She didn't play very much in the last game. Are they kind of like why rest her? Wouldn't you want to just play her hard now because she's going to be gone? But that's not the case. I'd like to go over exactly how many minutes she just played. Chicago is terrible defensively. So the idea that if Camila Cardoso is only going to play, 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes for some reason, then the paint is going to be, Sparks will just get whatever they want. So that's the elephant in the room. Chicago is allowing teams to shoot 46.1 from the field. And now if Cardoso is not there, it's really a real problem here. King Al, if he hasn't changed it yet, I would bet it. It's, that's what I would do, King Al. Saturated says Chicago is terrible, period. The Sparks are bad and bad defensively. At least this guy will give you effort. I want this guy here, Peter. I want them +5. Now the Sparks just got lost badly to a team without Nafisa Collier, and that makes me. They're not going to come in and overlook the Chicago Sky. That's the problem. That's why I'm not already on this guy. But the Sparks are so weak defensively. Who cares if they have better offense? I mean, at least I can trust Kia Nurse, Van Lith. Hopefully Cardozo playing enough. AM says I think the over is the better look. So, Peter, anything you want to make official here?
No, not right now. I probably won't make it. I focusing hard on baseball, and I do enjoy WNBA, but can't give anything official if I haven't actually bet it myself. So.
I do want this guy, but I'm gonna have to get an idea of if they're gonna keep kind of not playing Cardoso hard because she's gonna leave. Makes no sense. This is her last game, though. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind for Sky Capping. She's gonna miss 3 games, and they're gonna have no paint presence whatsoever. Defensively.
Yeah, I mean, it should be a high scoring game, shouldn't it? Right?
It should be, yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
because
yeah, it should be.
Yeah. I want to take Hamby over 3.5 assists, but I'll hold off.
Yeah, maybe I should see exactly if this drops to a flat 166 or something like that, and then move on the over. I think the over. I don't. It looks like it's dropping. I want to wait, and then I still have interest in this guy. We'll see if I move on after the show. Let's roll on here, Pete. Set up Dream Wings.
Okay, so yeah, Atlanta had been great ATS, but now the market has caught up, and they're now off of 2 straight up wins, but ATS losses, and the Wings have some life to them. They're off of an OT straight up road loss, but ATS cover, and Dallas again getting a big line here, and just wondering if maybe the market is now overcompensating for Atlanta. And now we want to look to, it's a fade or pass for Atlanta right now.
The fact that the Sparks just showed nothing at Blinks on Saturday makes me think they do come out swinging here. So I can't. If you're going to, if you're going to fade, or if you're going to back a terrible basketball team, you want the team coming in to overlook them, and that's not going to happen. So I'm going to need maybe I just only focus on the Sky. Mr. Belvedere has been crushing here, crushing the WNBA, and his best bet is on the Atlanta Dream -9 in this one.
Wow.
The Dream coming off their second straight win, 5th in 6 games, 93-80 at home for Chicago on Sunday. Let's see what this line history is. We got Atlanta right now -9, -116. They opened up -9, -110. This dropped 8 down to 7.5. This was 7.5 early this morning. And now we're back up to 9. 9-cent move towards Atlanta. Interesting. From a total side of things here, we have a 169 flat. It's a pick 'em. This opened up at 169, dropped down to 168, then got up to 171. So we are back at 169. So basically no movement. Cash flow wise here, we have 73% of the tickets and 89% of cash on Atlanta. Then from a total standpoint, we have 77% of tickets on the under, 69% of cash on the under. So Ryan Howard went for 22. Alicia Gray went for 19. Brianna Jones went for 13 and 11 in that victory over the Sky on Sunday at home. The Wings had their 2-game winning streak snapped in a 91-88 overtime loss at Washington on Sunday. Ogun Bawali went for 27, and Paige Beckers went for 20 points, 9 boards, 7 assists. She's the fastest player to reach 200 points, 50 rebounds, and 50 assists in WNBA history. The issue here is their defense is so bad that they just when it's time to push, they're not good. When push comes to shove in the most important moments of the game, they just can't get stops. Now here it's a little different, being such a big home dog. AM says Wings +9 for me, 89% of the money, and a half-point move towards the Dream tells me all I need to know. I initially wanted to be on Dallas. I thought this was an important game for them. But I also wonder if I don't want to test Atlanta in the second half when, their paint and post presence is just going to take over the game when it's the most important. So I wonder if just backing the Wings early is what I want to do. Carrington doubtful, says Mr. Belvedere. Wing playing their 3rd game in 5 nights. Saturate. I was astonished at the trade. Let's finish off WNBA and then talk about it. I was surprised. Obviously, I guess I have a higher thought of Anthony Simons, but I was very, very surprised. So I kind of like the Wings early in this one, very early, maybe a first quarter. I will take a little more time. Anything you want to make official for Atlanta, Dallas, Peter?
No.
Okay, set us up for Fever Storm.
Well, Caitlin Clark is back, and for Indiana, not doing too great. Two straight losses, right? Double-digit favorite at Golden State. They lost, and at Vegas, a pretty solid road loss. Now here they are again on the road at Seattle. Now they're getting some points, is what I saw. They're still a dog. Wow, now up to 3.5. Maybe now we reverse course. Now they're getting some points and take Indiana here.
I was thinking about a lot backing them here. I know they're such a public squad generally, but with the way Caitlin's been playing, you got to think that she bounces back. Now, I don't want what has not been working for me is, trying to catch a falling knife on a player prop.
Right. Yeah.
It just doesn't work for me historically. The opposite, when someone has a career night betting the under, works nonstop. But timing it right, I've never succeeded, trying to catch a falling knife and get someone to snap out of the losing streak or the poor play. This total opened up at 165, and now we're up to 168.5. It took a while for that to happen. From a point spread analysis here, we have Seattle minus 3.5, as you mentioned. But here they opened up minus 2.5. That was 9:45 p.m. last night, minus 2.5. And so we've had a full point move towards the Storm. Then let's get into the cash flow for this spot. 66% of tickets and 92% of cash on Seattle. 70% of tickets, 67% cash on the under. So maybe the Fever need to go home to get right. And nobody looks ahead of Indiana anymore. They know that when Caitlin Clark comes to town, all eyes are going to be on them.
Even if they're off of 2 losses, doesn't matter.
Thank you, True Allah, my friend. Sorry about that. There we go. Thank you. So Fever come in off their second straight road loss, 89-81 at Las Vegas on Sunday. Aaliyah Boston goes for 26. And as you said, Caitlin Clark goes for 19 and 11 assists, but 1 of 10 from 3. So there's a couple stats here. One that she's 1 for 17 from 3 over the last 2 games. And she's 1 for 22 from 3 over the last 3 road games. So will that change here? Kelsey Mitchell goes for 20. Storm coming up their third straight win, 89-79 at home over the Liberty on Sunday, which would generally be a game, where you want to fade them the next game. You beat the defending champions at home, but now we have Caitlin Clark coming in. Ogumake goes for 26, 12 of 17 shooting. Skylar Diggins goes for 20. I think the market is telling us that the Storm will beat the Fever too, and that this is not a letdown spot. I mean, that's what the market's telling us, and I agree with it. I mean, everybody kind of wants to move towards the Fever, and there's no reason to. We changed the graphic, Trilla. Thank you, my friend. Peter, take it away. Your plan.
I don't know. Obviously, market is so far saying that Seattle, of course, has been covering. Maybe it's just no brainer, and I'm just not following it closely enough to see that it's just you're right. Fade Indiana until they're at home.
Yeah, because this is not your regular situation. This is not the Storm not going to fade them after beating the defending champion. No, Caitlin Clark's coming to town. So they're going to be ready to win again. And they're proving that they are a team to be reckoned with this year. A DC capper on the over 166. So I like the Storm to do it again. So do you agree that fundamentally this is probably not a letdown spot for them?
For the Storm?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Oh, yes, totally agree. Of course. Yeah.
So I'm going to move on the Storm. And that was not my plan coming in. In fact, I've been, because I think you maybe just unconditionally or in your subconscious, you hear all the headlines about Caitlin Clark. Now she's coming in going 1 of 17 from 3 the last 2 games. Like, oh, she's going to turn around. They're going to bounce back. Or you think, oh, the Storm beat the defending champions. But I don't feel that way anymore. And I'm happy I talked that out. I'm going to be on the Storm on bed as soon as the show is over. So I'm in business here. The question is the Mystics now. I'm not going to move on it at the end of the show. And then the over 166.5 in Sparks Sky, I agree with. I agree that Sparks are going to come out. And maybe Wager Detective is right that it is the Sparks here. Right, Peter? Because the Sparks just lost badly to a team missing their best player. They're not going to overlook the Sky. So maybe that in Wager Detective so heavy on the Sparks, I kind of get it now, and I didn't before. This got to be an angry Sparks team. Then Wings first quarter might not be necessary, but I like it. And then I'm going to bet the Storm as soon as the show's over immediately. Peter, you are on the. Oh no, you're not. So what are you going to move on, if anything?
I'm gonna pass on everything officially as of right now, just because I focus on baseball so much and don't. I haven't bet any of these, so I'm not going to give any of the visual as of right now.
Okay. All right. Well, that is our show for today, which brings me to the most important spot on my day where I've got to attack and make the bets, because the only bet I came in with was that Astros double result. Thank you, Big Daddy Boom, my man. What were you going to say, Pete?
I was going to say I'm glad it didn't happen during the show, but just right now, you're cutting in and out for me. I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Well, you've done great work. Jose and I will put a bow on the show, Peter, as you're having the internet trouble, my friend. Thank you. You broke down all of your MLB action just a second ago, so we have all of it. So thank you for that, my friend, and your insights, as always. Any last words here, Peter, for the Cappers supporting the show?
No, not really. I just did see that I actually did bet Clark under 3.5 threes. I forgot about that last night. I did bet that. And beat a move, like a 30-cent move. Kind of obvious.
Interesting that we both think that it's not a letdown spot because Caitlin Clark's coming to town. DC Capper does not agree. Says it's a huge letdown spot. Indiana wins this game. I don't. So let's say you beat.
I really can't hear you, Jim. Sorry about that.
And then Michael Jordan comes to town. All eyes are going to be on you because Michael Jordan's in town, but that's part of the fun. DC, good luck, my friend. And
I can't hear you at all.
Okay, Pete, you want to say your goodbyes, my friend?
Yes. See everyone next Tuesday. It was a lot of fun today. See y'all next Tuesday.
There he is, Mr. Loshak here. All right, let's put a bow on the festivities. Thank you guys so much for rocking with us. We just went over all of the action here. So not much more to do other than go get this action in, make these bets, and hammer. Jose, what is your take on the situation the Storm are in? The Storm beat the defending champions at home, in impressive fashion. But now Caitlin Clark comes to town.
And they're
and
3.5
my thought
favorites.
process is that it's not a letdown spot. It's a spot where they know all eyes are on them. We're playing our best basketball of the year. What is your take on that? I'm curious.
I agree with you. The fact that they were favored kind of surprised me. I thought the Caitlin Clark show would be good enough to be like -1 or something like that. I don't obviously study WNBA, but I'm sure everyone looks to naturally back the Fever and Caitlin Clark. Is there more bets and money on the whatever the fuck's the Fevers?
Right now we have all the big bets are on Seattle. 66% of the tickets, 92% of the cash.
Surprising. Wager says it's opened up at -1, has gone to 3. So yeah, I'd lean Seattle Storm. Again, the fact that they were favored kind of was like, oh, this feels like the WNBA spot of the day, the Seattle Storm. But I don't fucking I don't bet the WNBA much. I'm just, as Lynn Belvedere says, a collector of Caitlin Clark cards. That's it.
See,
I am.
I would agree with DC Capper against any other team in the league. Any other team. You know, like especially let's say the Lynx going without Collier. You know, I would agree with all of that. But here I don't quite. AM says 92% of the money makes me not want to go head to head versus the books. Why not take the over reverse line movement, aligning the best outcome for the books? I think that when there's that many big bets on the Storm, the line moves, it's telling because the public backs the Indiana Fever. Look, I'm going to sit with it right now, and I'll tweet out my action.
I will also echo Action Jackson. It's a good note. All the NBA bettors, you know, they're looking for their basketball fix. This is the first day with no NBA officially to look forward to. Maybe I don't think we have a total amount of bets, but I wouldn't be surprised if today the WNBA games were bet more than usual, obviously, and probably this is going to be the most bet game of the day.
And the question that Saturate asked about the Simons trade, everybody is saying that the Blazers aren't going to keep Drew Holiday. What? Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't Chauncey want some veteran defensive presence in that locker room? Everybody's saying, "Oh, he's just going to be moved right away." I was like, why? Just because they've done it once before with him? This is a different team. I mean, Billups. How do you feel about Anthony Simons now wearing the green?
Great, expiring contract. They have to keep trading. So I will eulogize Kristaps Porzingis' trade here soon as well. Allegedly a San Antonio Spur target. I personally wouldn't recommend it for the Spurs because, you know, always hurt. Now you've got a second version of Wemby, which is cool, but we'll see. I think they need a thicker, more rebound oriented center. But yeah, Porzingis is not long for the Celtics either. So.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, KP is going here soon. Ricky says, "Can you take the 50 of the money I won on the horse race and give membership to the chat?" That is very positive. When did you? Was that from like 2 weeks ago? I believe.
Ricky, double check. Let us know about.
Can you just give me the date here so I can set that up with Jeff here? Because on Friday we had Chill, Will, and Sammy Comer win. I forgot to message Sammy about that. So,
yeah,
we'll get.
But
that.
I'm genuinely, I'm excited for Simons because he's young and he's on an expiring contract. That's really it. I've probably watched him play basketball like twice, but the fact that he's expiring gives up the Celtics more leverage, and he's playing for a contract. Maybe the Celtics resign him. Who knows if he plays well? So I enjoyed it. I appreciate the Portland Trailblazers, and I agree with you as well. The last time they traded Drew Holiday, he was on like a really good deal that people wanted. Now he's on he's getting paid for like 4 more years, like 30-40 million per. So, you know, I agree with what you would think there.
Turnsy asking your thoughts on the toddler shoulder Zegras trade.
I only follow the Edmonton Oilers and the Boston Bruins.
I could tell you, I think he's absolutely worth picking up.
I agree with that.
He's been such a disappointment. He has been, you know, the problem is he kind of looks like a young Gretzky. I mean, that doesn't help. You know?
Is that the problem?
I think it's a problem because that's who he was compared to. But look, he was the 9th overall pick. This guy wasn't the number 1. Friday the 13th. Okay, thank you, Ricky.
He reminds me of a much shittier version of my guy Pete Klima.
No, he'll have a better career than Pete Klima.
No, what?
Easily.
What?
AM says Zegras is bad. Zegras has high level potential.
I agree with that.
But he's been bad.
Yeah, I agree with that. Zegras wears 87, Turnsy.
So we'll see. DC saying that it's the ski profit premium play is the fever, I imagine.
Interesting. Yeah, Zegras. I know of Zegras because he's on the video game a couple years ago, and whenever you're on the video game, you're going to be good. So that's what my barometer of it. So, And yeah, that Jonathan Taves, who I keep wanting to call him Toes, is going to the Jets. That'd be interesting.
Oh, come on. I mean, what's he? Is he going to score 10 points? Man,
He's done.
Yeah, I mean, look, he can win some faceoffs, play shorthanded for you, and he'd be a leader in the room. But don't expect miracles.
Okay, fair enough.
Turnsy said that's why he subscribes. Jose's hockey knowledge.
Saturated wants to know how I finished in the contest. I don't want to know, Saturated.
Yeah, that was.
You live and you learn. Defenders, not the move. Okay, got it. That's registered now. Done.
Well, I received my stipend, and
Nice.
so did Salty Pete. So we thank Mr. Jeff Slaughter for that, and thank you guys all for being a part of it. That is our show for today. Good luck to all of you guys. Go out there and get that cash. I'm going to put my action in right now and put it out on X. So let's roll. Yeah, it'll be a fourth line center AM. You know, it's not going to be much. The Jofa helmet was beautiful, Chris Mack. Absolutely beautiful.
Pete Klima's dead? God, I didn't know that. I did not know that. Fuck.
Yeah. Thank you, Christopher Carter, and thank you all of you guys. Christopher Carter, Chris Mack, Saturated, Action, Jackson, Cheshire Cat, Jermaine, AM, Big Zoe, Turnsy 66, DC, Kappa, Ricky, Levine, Lil Domo.
Is Bill Ranford dead?
No, not that I know of.
Good. Thank God.
Unless it's happening right now, unless you have something planned.
Well,
Justin McKelvey, Ricky Levine, thank you for that. Wants to put that 50 back into. We'll probably do it for another race, but thank you for that. Alec Dirk says any first three unders today. Yeah, I expect. I mean, we went over all of the MLB action, but oh shoot, that's the last. Sorry, that's the wrong one. Yeah, I expect to be on a few. The Marlins Giants, I'm very interested in. We'll put some more work in now. The Red Sox Angels, I'm interested in. Then we have the Rays Royals. I very interested in. So there's three, and I believe you said you're looking at the Rays as well. So there's three. I guess those are the three. Let me just look. Well, yeah, those are the spots at this point. I did initially look at that A's Tigers first 302, but again, with that total going from 7 to 7.5 and moving towards the over, that just doesn't correlate the right way. So that is that. All right, there you guys. JM, thank you. And thank you to all of you guys. Go get that cash. We will see you all weekend. Don't forget, this Saturday, we are back in business. Capping horses all day here on Pub Sports Radio. I cannot wait. Working on the cast and crew that will be rocking with us. I put out a bunch of invites, so we will talk more about all of the different guests. But we do know that Mr. Guillermo Zertucci will be in. Mr. Spenny Pennybombs will be in there. Razor Sharp Picks trying to make time to jump on with us, and I've got a bunch of invites out right now, so we'll see who else is going to be rocking with us, but can't wait for Saturday, so please join us. Jose's Say Hey Play starts at 12. We're going to start about a half hour after him, and you guys can jump over after that great baseball show, and great numbers too. It's great to see the success of that show, Mr. Bouquet, my friend. So Jose, without further ado, please let's say us into the future.
Yeah, and by the way, Saturated is giving away some puppies if you're in Tennessee. And Saturated, I recommend tweeting it out as well so that people can see the puppies. But Saturated is giving away some puppies in Tennessee. If I wasn't so far Saturated, I'd consider it. But it's nice to see you, Saturated. Everyone in the chat, DC, Chris Mack, JM, all you guys. Chris Mack breaking the news of Pete Klima's death is not something I had on my radar today. Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know. That hurt my feelings. I know Mark Messier is still alive because his traitor ass is all over the fucking television looking like my damn nutsack. But it's nice to see all you guys. Turnsy, my guy. Turnsy, I hope you see you at Publipalooza so we can break bread and just talk hockey. I just really looking to look forward to talk about Bill Ranford's save percentages, how long he was on the Oilers, and maybe we'll talk about his brief Bruins stint. I knew that, Jimmy. I knew that. You told me about that. But shout out to all you guys. Let's go make some money and let's let Jay a Los bookmaker.
Stacks.